balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Friday should be very nice outside with partly cloudy skies for the majority of the day, but a little sunshine sneaking in right at the last half of the day with a high temperature around 81. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis, 493 WIBC.
I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Kendall Casey starts now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Oh my gosh. We're all going to be so poor, Casey. We're
going to be.
We're all just going to be so poor. It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. I read the news now. And, one of the things that's fascinating to me is that people are very critical of the Indy Star, especially on our side of the aisle, right? Because their opinion pieces tend to be very liberal. Now,
Yes.
they brought Jacob Stewart in, who we've had on our program multiple times, who worked for the Republicans in the Senate, who is a much more right voice than what they previously had. But here's what I tell people about the Indy Star. We are all invested. We as regular people are all invested in as many outlets covering state and local government as possible, and we should all be cheering for them to succeed. Because, first of all, so what the Star's liberal? What do the Republicans in this state give you to cheer for? What's happening out there that you're like, these guys are doing a hell of a job?
Right.
Your taxes have never been higher.
Correct.
The government has never been bigger. The horizon of said taxation has never been more bleak. The crony capitalism is at a level we have never seen before in that state house. You are getting sold out on a regular basis. So first of all, what are you concerned about anyway? What that these do-gooders in the state house are going to be painted in a negative light? But we need as many boots on the ground as possible to tell you how these guys in the state house are pulling shenanigans. And the Indy Star, in terms of their straight reporting, people like Haley Colombo do a phenomenal job, Kayla Dwyer, etc., of digging into information, and whether it's the Capitol Chronicle or the Star or Mere Indy or whoever it is, or these, the citizen journalist people, certainly guys like Indy Reporter, we need all of them to be thriving and moving in the same direction to expose what's going on. And the Star did this again yesterday. The Star does this a lot. I think there's people just fail to realize is their straight reporting is oftentimes excellent in terms of exposing what's going on. And of course, they expose Republicans. Democrats don't control anything. Like, I think the Star's done a fine job of, they don't ask where Hoggs was during the riots. They don't want to touch that. But whether it's the Thomas Carl Cook stuff or whatever, they've delved into that. They've given us more information, certainly, than that goofy report that the city did. And yesterday, Marissa Mader had the report, another phenomenal job of journalism, talking about what a bunch of cheap prostitutes our lawmakers are and how they will sell you out for a couple of meals and some tickets to some places.
Rubber chicken dinner?
This is absolutely amazing. So I will read you the headline before we get into it. Energy lobby ramped up spending on meals and gifts for lawmakers amid push for nuclear. It worked. Now, what we're talking about is, and we have harped on this for months now, how Mike Braun and the Indiana General Assembly, with a guy named Ed Soliday leading the charge. By the way, Soliday, you'll remember his name.
Yeah.
He's the state rep who threatened that mayor of Portage, Austin Bonta, because Bonta had come out as the mayor and said, hey, these utility bills for our local energy company are totally out of control. I'm hearing from these people. We got to make changes with how we're doing this. We got to make changes with the IURC. And that Ed Soliday, I can't say that Ed Soliday guy sent him a text message that Bonta put up on social media. We had him on the show, which basically said, you better get in line, buddy, or I'm going to make sure your city doesn't get any extra money going forward.
Correct.
You're dealing with the mafia at this point. These guys, these lawmakers, they are the mafia.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and the guys like Ed Soliday are at the tip of the spear on this in terms of they believe their you-know-what don't stink.
Yeah.
They believe they can do whatever they want to do. You're lucky that you have people like them lording over you. And boy, howdy, does this article from the Indy Star show just how gross these people are.
So we should get into it, some of the details about this, because the energy lobby, they ramped up their spending on meals and gifts for these people right as the time they were discussing SMRs.
So SMRs are small modular reactors. They are a way of providing nuclear power, which the state now recognizes they have to do because they've sucked up all the previously known ways of getting electricity to people because they're giving them away to data centers and mega corporations. And so what the legislature did, along with the blessing from Governor Braun, who lied, Braun seems to have a problem with the truth, Casey. Have we touched on that before in this program? Now, it could be the dementia. It could be that he's in the early stages of some sort of intense mental decline. We don't know, but Braun seems to have trouble remembering what he's told people, whether it was fight at the property tax rally or that he wasn't going to let the utility bills go up. This governor's got a real problem with the truth. So what they signed into law is the ability for the utilities to essentially become Dr. Frankenstein and do all this unproven testing with these SMRs, which they have to do now because they've given the farm away to these data centers and these other mega corps and mega buildings that require all this power, and they know they're running out. They're going to allow these utilities to essentially Dr. Frankenstein nuclear energy, and if it fails, you still pay the tab as the user. If it succeeds, you pay the tab. But the big thing is, if it doesn't work, which there's no track record of this working, by the way. It's not something like we can point to all these places where it's done all this great stuff, which is why they needed it in the bill. This was the key. The energy lobby needed in the bill that if their technology, if they're experimenting, fails, you, the user, you, the consumer of electricity, will still pay the bill.
Right. So they're providing these tax credits for these SMR manufacturers, and who is it on the back of? You, dear friend, you.
So the Star did a fabulous deep dive on how much money the energy lobby spent and really where they targeted their expenditures, and primarily one of the top guys was this Ed Soliday, Mr. Don Corleone himself over there, trying to strong-arm local mayors who question ever-rising utility costs now that's crushing their constituents. And boy, did they spend a boatload of money, Casey.
Yeah, Indiana Michigan Power and the Indiana Energy Association, you ready for this? They spent over $18,000 each on meals and gifts. Duke Energy spent $250,000 on legal lobbying, was a top campaign donor, by the way, to Senator Eric Koch.
So what the lawmakers will tell you about the lobby stuff is, and by the way, the lobbyist stuff should be well, we'll get to that in a second. What they will tell you is we need these guys because we're a part-time legislator. Now, these dudes make like $75,000 a year to be part-time legislators. That's why it's going to cost you so much when they have the special session. You got to pay them to come back. Now, what they'll tell you is the excuse, though, is, well, me so stupid. Me no know. Me no have no idea. Me need lobbyists who tell me what's going on because they're experts. Okay, great. What does a five-course meal at a fine restaurant or tickets to your favorite sporting event or concert have to do with informing you of a topic?
Right.
That is not about giving you information. That is legalized bribery.
Right.
That's exactly what that is. It is legalized bribery where these dudes, these interests, and it happens with all these dudes. We're talking about power right now. But these dudes dole out the stuff to get the lawmakers. They can't hand them a bag of cash, right? Because that's illegal. And this is how they get around it. They buy them meals. They give them tickets to stuff. That's how this works.
Yes, so they're subject matter experts. They're SMEs, but they also like to give dinners and sport tickets and private meals away.
So it's a long article. It's very well written. It's very well sourced. It tells you, I mean, we could spend a whole hour talking about this. We're not going to do that because we've got a lot of other ways in which you're going to end up very poor to tell you about. But you are going to pay more. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are going to pay more for your utility, for your power to your home, because these lawmakers have sold you out. You're going to pay more for a variety of reasons. Number one, you're going to pay more because our state is allowing sometimes foreign, sometimes domestic megacorps to come in and take your power. They're allowing them to use it all so that there's not going to be enough left to power your home. Everybody's admitting this at this point. That's where we're headed. And what we were about to talk about, very Austin Powers of me there. What we're going to talk about next is how they're not stopping. Like, they know this is going on.
Right.
They know what the data centers are doing, and they are not stopping.
Yeah.
So in order to keep this little, well, con's such a strong word, right, Case? Or Ponzi scheme is such a strong word, right? We won't use words like that. In order to keep this little game going, in order to keep this up, they have to get more power.
Yes.
They have to, in order to take, because what they're doing is they're taking money from you, the taxpayer, and they're using that money to facilitate the development of these mega buildings, the data centers, these mega corporations, blah, blah, blah. But what they can't get around is that everybody's going to run out of power. And so they have to charge you more for the power for these people to have free ride. Again, is such a strong word, but a freer ride than regular people. And in order to do that, now they claim they got to go to this super experimental technology. And these lawmakers are so weak and they're such cheap prostitutes that for a few meals, for a few tickets, they're willing to say something as stupid as, sure, we'll put our ratepayers on the hook. We'll put our taxpayers on the hook, whether you succeed or not. Can you name me any other business model, Casey, where the business doesn't have to produce the product and everybody else still has to pay for it?
Everybody else, yeah. It's not just power. It's also water that we're going to see a strain on. And we're going to hear from the former IEDC president and what he reveals. We talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
Franklin Township data center. Guess what? That's just one of many coming. We'll talk about it more coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
From red carpets to red states, actor Nick Searcy has seen it all. He starred in the FX TV show Justified and movies like The Fugitive and Castaway. But what he saw in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. changed everything. He'll join Tony Katz for one night of unfiltered stories, sharp insight, and a little bourbon on the side. From Hollywood to the heartland. Saturday, August 23rd at West Fork Whiskey Company. Brought to you by Premier Arms and Boer Remodeling. Tickets on sale now at WIBC.com.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
I was struggling to maintain contact with the professional world.
Dr. Ferner of Indianapolis talks about why he got the new caption phone from Relay Indiana.
When I got the phone, it turned it around.
Go to RelayIndiana.com. That's RelayIndiana.com. And read up on the caption phone.
People that I talk with do not necessarily know that I have this service. It's a piece of cake.
Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's. 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 Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
Join the Home and Garden Show live this Saturday at Nature Spire, Carmel's only plant boutique. Plants, moss art, and more. Register to win the Classic Pumpkin Package giveaway. 421 South Range Line.
Oh, very good, Kevin.
Sure does.
One of the 10 greatest songs of all time. It's the Kendall Casey Show. The theme of today's program is you're going to be so poor. And your government is, I think that's
okay with it.
Well, I think that's what's so frustrating about all of this is if you look at the past 5 or 6 years, everything that's happened is the responsibility of the government. You can rest it at the government. Why is everything so expensive now? Why is inflation? Because of government. Because they shut down society, which they didn't need to do. They printed a bunch of money to make you think that shutting down society wouldn't disrupt your, daily existence. And they're still doing it. And then once you print the money and you throw it at people, it becomes the baseline for everything. And now you look at how our states, many of the states, have responded to that. And look, we have entered, the Republicans have always been pretty bad here in Indiana, but the past 5 or 6 years, we have entered a new frontier of crony capitalism, of shady behavior, of selling you out to the highest bidder. And they don't care what you think anymore. It's like I was thinking about this yesterday. 10, 15 years ago, you could rally a lot of people and you could stop stuff. Now, they were still trying to pull shenanigans. They were still trying to pull some bull crap at the state and local level. But you could stop it, as the people, the property tax people proved at all. I don't even care anymore. It doesn't matter how many people you bring to the state house. See 1,000 people for the property tax rally.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
They don't care.
Look at the people that flooded in on the Thomas Carl Cook stuff here in Marion County with the city of Indianapolis. And now you're seeing it with these data centers. And I know we talk a lot about data centers, but you people better wake up. You people that are hearing this right now, and look, I care enough to tell you this directly because I love you. I care enough to sound like this because I care about you and your family's future. Everybody better wake the hell up, because these dystopian-looking monstrosities serve nothing but the masters that own them. They don't serve you at all. They're not invested in your community. The giveaways that they're getting means they won't contribute to your community until, in some cases, long after you're gone. I don't mean to sound crass. Not like gone out of the community, like gone out of this earth.
Gone from Earth, yeah.
These are politicians and political people who are ramming these things through because, at best, the best logical reason they're ramming them through, the best case scenario, because we always want to put the best face on something, Casey, is it looks good at a ribbon cutting. Look at this bright, shiny object that's been resurrected.
What do you think these meetings and discussions are like? Is it like, oh, you know what? Just make the peasants pay for it. Here, try this steak. Have another glass of wine. Because honestly, the day that House Bill 1007 was passed, the same day, Duke Energy paid Ed Soliday a $67 meal.
That was the SMR bill, right?
Yeah.
And look, Soliday's not the other one. Coke. What's his name?
Coach.
The senator.
Coach.
The Star said he got, like 15 grand?
Yeah.
Something like that in giveaways, basically, according to the Indy Star?
Yeah. Soliday received $900 worth of meals from these energy
So,
lobbyists.
I mean, it's on the House and, and the Senate side, right? So
what is that like? Seriously, like, oh, yeah, here's an idea. Make the taxpayers pay for it.
No, here, and let's I want to play this, though. Let's play. So there's another one going in Franklin.
Yep, we talked about that
Franklin
yesterday.
Township. And we've got the do we have the audio of
It's the former IEDC president.
Yeah, Schellinger.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was pushing this. There was mass public opposition to this. People showed up in droves because the public is aware of what these data centers are, that they're going to force everyone, if you can even get power in the future. Because if the power goes down, you think they're going to tell the data centers? You think they're going to tell Google, which is what this one is, hey, sorry, Google, you're SOL. No, it's going to be you. It's going to be you, the consumer, the resident, that is going to get screwed, both in your pocketbook and if you can even get power. So despite mass public opposition, which is who the government is supposed to serve, they're not supposed to serve Google. They're not supposed to serve the IEDC or any of these other local economic development arms. They're supposed to serve you. I go to these meetings all the time, and I see mass public opposition to things. Not like, hey, there's 10 really loud people and they don't represent the public. Like, I know when the public is behind something or they don't care or whatever. But I see this more and more. Mass public opposition. And these people on these boards and commissions, they just sit there and stare at these people and then do the exact opposite. They're not serving the public anymore. They're serving special interest. Here is, what's the guy's first name?
Jim Schellinger.
Jim Schellinger. Thank you. He used to be the head of the IEDC. He's now on some other...
He's the president and CEO of Indie Economic Development.
Thank you. Boy, that just sounds like a evil an evil organization in a Batman movie, doesn't it? Here is him telling the people of Franklin Township, you're going to have this data center and you're going to like it.
This is cutting edge technology. This is the first of many that are going to happen. You are going to be hearing many of these, as is every single Metropolitan Development Commission all around the country are going to be hearing these, because this is the future and is a technology that we need to do the things that help our lives and help us to exist. Cutting edge technology that, if the questions get answered and they get answered to somebody's satisfaction, just might take a city like Indianapolis and a township like Franklin Township and put us on the map as somebody that...
Pause. That's really important. Okay, two things. One...
He said the first of many.
Right, so they're coming, which we know. There's one going in Lebanon. They're trying to get one out in Martinsville. They're all over the place, right? But he said a couple things that we need to address here real quick. One, Kev, can you play like the final, 20 seconds of that will probably be enough.
To help our lives and help us to exist. Cutting edge technology that, if the questions get answered and they get answered to somebody's satisfaction, just might take a city like Indianapolis and a township like Franklin Township and put us on the map.
Okay, pause. And we're going to run just a little long, Jarrett Lewis. Thank you. Very good. See, he's so sweet.
Yeah.
He's
easy.
Kurt Darling was so mean about that. Jarrett's so understanding. All right. First of all, you're not answering the question to the community's satisfaction, Mr. Schellinger. That's who matters. Not anybody but the community, because they got to live with it. They got to deal with it. So clearly you don't give a damn about the community's questions being answered, because they're not getting the answer that they want. And they're the taxpayers and they live there. So let's address that first. The second thing, Indianapolis is good enough as it is. It's got a lot of problems.
What,
but
when he said we're going to put it on the map?
Yeah.
Which map?
We've had Super Bowls. We have the NCAA Final Four. We have professional sports teams. We have conventions. We have Gen Con. What does that mean? Like, people don't know Indianapolis exists? Like, because Google's data center is here, that people are going to be like,
oh,
yeah.
Hadn't heard of you before.
That is like, you need, and this is what's so insulting. Guys like that, you need us. You need the elite to put you on the map. Your life isn't good enough as it is. Your life doesn't have meaning. You need us to give you meaning. And it'll come through a lifeless dystopian data center run by one of the largest, most powerful corporations in the world.
Well, this is very much, we're smarter than you. We know better than you. So we're going to make all the decisions for you. Oh, and if you're not on board with it, well, we'll threaten you or ignore you.
God, you can't hate these people enough. What do we do? Who can we hate on next? Hey, somebody's got a crush on you. We got to talk about this.
We're going to talk about that?
Somebody has
or are we going to talk about the poll you got on your phone?
Oh, we can talk about both of them.
Okay. It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
My mom just found the best place ever, Wilson's Farm Market. They've got the best ice cream, in tons of flavors like butter pecan, orange pineapple, but my favorite is the old-fashioned vanilla. And the candy? Whoa. There's a whole wall of it. Gummies, chocolates, giant jawbreakers, even old-school stuff my grandma loves. It's like a candy wonderland. And they let me pick out my own bag? Yes! Wilson's is just 20 minutes north of Carmel. Tell your crew it's time for a sweet road trip. Wilson Farm Market, you gotta go!
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A raid of a former Trump official. Skies are cloudy. It's 68 in the Circle City, a high that might touch 80 today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's 9:31 now. Federal agents descending on the home of a former high-profile Trump official this morning.
FBI agents raided the Maryland home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton in an investigation ordered by FBI Director Kash Patel. A source telling Fox News the search focused on potential classified documents agents believe may still be in the possession of Bolton, who's not in custody or under arrest. Patel posting to X shortly after the raid started, "No one is above the law." A senior U.S. official saying the probe was first launched years ago, but the Biden administration shut it down, quote, for political reasons.
Fox's Lillian Wu reporting. President Donald Trump, meanwhile, threatening a complete and total federal takeover of Washington on social media earlier today. The Justice Department is also investigating whether crime data in the nation's capital was falsified. And Hurricane Erin is spinning away from the U.S., but it's leaving behind dangerous weekend swimming conditions on the East Coast. Wave heights have been recorded from 5 to 9 feet. Many beaches are closed, but swells are expected to lessen. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is up 185 points to 44,785. The S&P 500 also up 6,370. And the NASDAQ is in the green, up 40 points to 23,142. I'm Jarrett Lewis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
The most extraordinary thing a woman can do is let herself be human. We try to do it all, sure, but what if we're just not feeling it? Like when the fatigue hits, but you gotta bring snacks to the soccer game? Or when the laundry's piling up, but that hot flash says, too bad. We get it. Franciscan Health has care for extraordinary women who can do it all, but don't have to. Visit franciscanhealth.org/OBGYN today.
The heat outside does not have to be the heat inside. Masters Heating and Cooling is here to help. I use Masters Heating and Cooling in my home. David, the general manager, and the entire Masters team take care of my family. They've replaced parts of my system, serviced parts of my system, and everything is running in tip-top condition. My house feels amazing. Right now, you can get $1,000 off a new AC system. We're talking about a full system replacement here. $100 off electric, $250 off hybrid, and $500 off tankless water heaters. Talk to Masters Heating and Cooling today. They have 0% financing for up to 60 months with qualified system purchases. Terms and conditions for all offers. Restrictions apply. Call for details. Masters Heating and Cooling. They'll take care of your HVAC and help you out 24/7. Call 317-567-9505. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-567-9505. Masters Heating and Cooling. 567-9505 or online at mastersindy.com. That's mastersindy.com.
Okay, so a dealer's choice. Do you want to talk about your new crush or someone who has a crush on you?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to talk about the poll that I got sent?
I want to talk about the poll that you got sent first.
Okay. All right. We can do that. That's fine. It's the Kendall and
I know
Casey.
you wanted to go the other way.
No, I don't care. It's fine. We're going to get to all of it eventually. We got
Okay.
3 hours to kill here. By the way, okay, it's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. Couple of programming notes. Coming up at 11, Doug Carter, former state police superintendent, is scheduled to be with us.
Mm-hmm.
He is super fired up now about some of these statements that have been made by both the special prosecutor, the Braun administration, and Tom Kleinhelter himself in the Tom Kleinhelter investigation.
Okay.
Of course, most of you will recall this. It has now gone statewide. We broke statewide news, Casey. Nobody listens, but we broke statewide news.
What are you, the most powerful?
That's right. Yes, I was once
Broadcaster?
dubbed by Importantville, the fabulous subscription-based Indiana news magazine, political magazine, the most powerful broadcaster in the state of Indiana.
Right. So.
The Tom
That
Kleinhelter.
tracks.
Yes, the Tom Kleinhelter investigation. He is the sheriff of Du Bois County. He was accused in an 80-page probable cause affidavit by the state police on a report from the State Board of Accounts of misusing commissary money to, amongst other things, pay for his wife to go on what some might call lavish trips with him. And he is a very close political ally of the governor. And then all of a sudden, 2024 became 2025, and Braun became the governor. And voila, wouldn't you know, the special prosecutor decided not to press charges despite an 80-page probable cause affidavit. And then on top of that, the decorated, distinguished officer who investigated the case was punished by the state police and the new state police superintendent. And so we'll get into all of that.
Okay,
coming
with
up
Doug
here
Carter when he
Doug Carter
joins us at 11. Yeah.
And yes, I know many of you come here today. We will talk about Micah's comments yesterday on Hammer and Nigel. We do have some thoughts on those. See, Case, and I said this about Diego a while ago.
Secretary of State.
Yes, Diego Morales, Secretary of State. Thank you, yes. Better known as Grifters Are Us. And we got to talk about him too.
Indiana's Secretary of State.
He's hiding the tiptoes now. Have you seen how he's doctoring his photos?
I did. Passing out coins,
We're going to talk about that later.
So much to get to.
Yes, boy, howdy. These people, I try to let it go. Like, I try to let things go. I try to think I'm just going to not talk about it anymore. I'm going to just let things play themselves out. And then they make it where I have to talk about it again, right? All these people you're so unfair. You do this, you do that. I think I had been relatively silent on this the past, week or so, and it just kind of out of sight, out of mind. And then he being Micah Beckwith went on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday, and he said some things that are as a lawyer might say, inconsistent with the facts as we know them to be. And so I thought we should definitely address that. If he's going to do that on our airwaves, I think we got to address that.
I thought we were inaccurate.
Well, we'll get to all of that coming up in a little bit. But first, yes, the poll. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know me, I fear the technology.
Right.
And I don't participate in things with people that I'm not very familiar with. I don't open the mail here at work. And I would love to take a poll, a survey of some sort. However, I'm not going to take a survey if you send me a link and go click here. Right? Like my wife works in the
cybersecurity,
that world, and so it has been very ingrained in my head. One, I'll always know where you are at all times, and don't click links on emails or anything else.
Not going to get you on a phishing scam.
So I struggle with this because I really wanted to take it, but it would go against everything that I know to be decent and true, which is I got a text message, a robo-text maybe, if you will. A little concerning. I don't know how he got my phone number because I've never really had a personal conversation with this guy. I've never had any sort of back and forth with him. We've never been, spending an evening in Broad Ripple together or anything like that. But somehow Todd Young got my phone number.
Sure he did.
And this is what it said, Casey.
Okay.
It's Senator Todd Young. I want to know what issues matter most to you. Yeah. Take my quick priority survey today.
Okay.
And then it had a link on it.
See, I love the surveys.
Well, look, if you
I do them.
Well, you do TikTok, you do all these things. If you want to open yourself up and your phone to unknown agents across not just the fruited plain, but the world. You have at it. Now, at the bottom of it said, stop to stop. Does that mean I respond? Stop?
Stop to end?
It said stop to stop.
Oh, yeah, that means if you type in stop, they won't send you anymore.
What if I just respond, stop spending the money? Would that work?
I don't know if he's going to get that message.
I mean, that would really be the survey. I don't feel like I don't need to take the survey. I'm going to do the survey right now. Are you ready?
Yes.
Stop spending all the money.
You know, Todd Young, he was just in the Philippines.
Oh, is there a reason? Could we leave him there?
He said, during my recent trip to the Philippines, I had the opportunity to fly with an outstanding Navy crew on a P-8 patrol aircraft.
Oh.
He was thrilled that they were carrying sonobuoys produced by Hoosiers.
You know, it's too bad, like, they didn't, maybe reenact the whole D.B. Cooper episode and just throw him out the back of the plane.
Where'd he go?
Nobody knows. We'd want to give him a parachute. We wouldn't want anything horrible. But, he's a big, tough Marine. Did you know Todd Young was in the Marines? Did you know that?
I did know that.
Kevin, did you know Todd Young? He was a Marine?
I think I heard that.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't like to talk about it. He doesn't like to mention it. But yeah, he was in the Marines. And so I think that would have been a fabulous thing for our military to do, is to say, we're going to reenact the whole D.B. Cooper saga. We're going to throw you, Mr. Tough Rambo Marine guy, into the deepest, darkest jungle we can find. Good luck, and we'll see if we see you on the other side.
He doesn't mention why he was in the Philippines, what he was doing there, but he did thank Ultra Maritime in Northeast Indiana, a leading supplier of undersea warfare products for our Navy.
Yeah, so my survey is pretty simple.
Okay.
Duke of Spendingburg.
Oh, you're not clicking it, are you?
No, why would I do that?
Okay.
I don't even know if it's him.
Yeah.
It's some phone number I don't recognize. So you click links on phone numbers you don't recognize?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, I got a text yesterday from Donald Trump. He said, "Did you save my number yet? Please, I'm asking you nicely."
And you saved it? Did you put Trump in your phone?
I've clicked many of the. He said, "Trump, will you rate my presidency and tell me what I should do next?
Oh.
Just text me back a reply below so I can see." And I replied back, "Grocery prices."
Oh, very good. And did somebody send you something back the other way? Nothing?
No, I just got another one from him the next day. I'm on a list. You're on a list.
So he's a typical man. He's there for what he wants and really doesn't care about your needs at all. Hey, why don't we take a break? We went a little longer on that than I'd anticipated, but somebody I think has a big old crush on you, and I think we need to.
Can you blame him?
Well, no, absolutely.
Have you seen me?
I mean, you're wonderful.
Amazing.
In so many ways. I think this needs to be addressed with the audience. Then.
All right, we'll get to it next on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. Man, we're going to have a good time. It's Friday. Football games are tonight. It's Beer Sample Friday. Let's kickstart the weekend right. We'll talk at 3:06.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service.
Really?
Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots, on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 10/9/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of one unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. One discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year, or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $404 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory on West Minnesota Street. The best dealers in the region, hundreds of tables, just $6 for adults, kids 12 and under free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade this Saturday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
You know the face, now hear the stories. Actor Nick Searcy from Justified and Castaway joins Tony Katz for one night only, August 23rd, to talk about how Hollywood and Washington, D.C. led him to the heartland. Tickets at WIBC.com. Presented in part by Just Add Water Boats year-end clearance sale.
Someone's got the hots for you, I think.
I don't know if it's...
I think so.
You think so?
Well, look, there's a lot of messages going your way.
Really want to get on the air with us.
Well, okay, so our old pal, Mouthy Matt, Mouthy Matt Gentry, the mayor of Lebanon, he is messaging, he is on a message storm with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's deep down he has a crush on you, and he just wants to get back in your presence, but he's guising it around. He wants to come back on and explain Leap to us, right?
We
He keeps
had
wanting to
one
explain.
memorable encounter like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Now, for those who don't know, we call him Mouthy Matt because we had him on. Look, we are totally against. I think I can speak for Casey on this. If not, you can certainly speak up and say otherwise. But we are totally against the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. We believe it is a shadow government entity designed to confuse you, the public at large, to not know where your money's going, and enrich and embolden very connected, powerful people who may or may not then in the end turn around and help the politicians that just helped them. And anything I said there that would be out of bounds? Okay. And of the IEDC, while there are many areas, which is why it's under a forensic audit, by the way, and all sorts of questions about that. Don't just take our word for it. The governor was concerned enough to enact a forensic audit, which is the big audit of the IEDC. The golden child of the IEDC, or their non-production, a lot of money going out, but not a lot to show for it, is this LEAP district, the big old innovation district in Lebanon. And last year we had the mayor of Lebanon on this program. Was it last year? It all runs together now.
Been longer than that.
Yeah, it may have been. Anyway, 23, 24, it's all the same. When you got a 2-year-old at home, the days just smashed together, Case. We had him on, and I thought it was a fine conversation where reasonable people could disagree, and we were very polite, and he did not leave in a hostage situation or anything like that, as I recall.
Yeah.
Had all his belongings and clothing and everything else that he came in with. He was not malnourished or forced to film a video recanting previous statements he'd made. I thought he had a pretty good time.
Yeah.
So then, as we do with almost every interview after he left, we took a few moments to dissect the interview, give our thoughts on it, and boy, did he blow a gasket on the Twitter.
Discuss what was said during the interview.
He was very mouthy. Now, he was not a real Johnny Tough guy when he was in here with us, but as soon as he got behind his Twitter account, he started really turning into a Billy Badass, and thus we dubbed him Mouthy Magic.
Yeah, so the mayor and I got along swimmingly as he was leaving. I told him, I said, I really think that you guys are going to need to hire some sort of PR agency to help with this LEAP project because there are many people who are upset about it. So take that advice, do with it what you want. I don't believe they ended up hiring anybody.
No, he's got it under control, which is why he's begging to come on our program.
So yesterday or...
Wait. I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves. So thus far, despite, well, we don't really know how many millions of our dollars have been pumped into this LEAP district. Now, what we do know is they don't have enough power, and we do know they don't have enough water, which is why they're having to try to take water from other communities, and we know they've had to buy power, right, from other outside sources, which... Reoccurring theme here, you'll end up paying more so that all these things that go to these bright, shiny objects can have the power. Is this you sensing a theme here today? Yeah. All right. What we do know is that there's really only one thing in the LEAP right now. Now, other people have pledged to go, and Facebook has said for how long now they're going. And look, I don't really want Facebook in my backyard, but they've said they're going, and now there's a data center that's supposed to be going. But thus far, Eli Lilly is really it, right? Now, I don't know if there's some other industry that's in there that I'm not aware of. I haven't heard of it. Doesn't mean it's not there. But Eli Lilly, who were led to believe Eli Lilly, one of the biggest, most powerful, not just drug manufacturers, but corporations, period, in the entire world. What did we, like 800 billion was their market cap the last time we looked up. They couldn't have completed a simple real estate transaction without millions of dollars from you, the taxpayers of the state of Indiana.
Sure.
That's really all
That sounds right.
LEAP has to show for itself right now. And so then we heard about, what was this? This was, Facebook was coming and the data center. And we said, we have some questions about this.
Yeah, so Meta, Facebook's parent company, they plan to build a $4.8 billion data center in the LEAP district. And the project's going to span 1,500 acres. And it's going to be developed over 6 different phases. And the economic impact, here it is, it's estimated to generate $80 million in property taxes.
For whom?
$30 million in community impact payments over 15 years, expected to create 50 to 80 jobs in phase 1, up to 200 total after the full build out.
Wait, stop, because you're throwing too much information out.
Yeah.
Who's saying that? Who's telling you that that's going to be what it's going to be? Who's saying that?
Well, the article from WRTV is telling me that.
But from whom? They're not
I'm
doing
assuming they're getting it from Mayor Matt Gentry. He says the water deal is not going to increase rates for local residents. Okay, so we had discussions about this, right?
He desperately wants to come on the program, and he won't address it. Well, I guess he kind of does address me, but he's really addressing. He's done this before where he went at you to try to get back on the show. And we had a conversation about it, and I said, look, we already had the guy on. We gave him his shot.
Yep.
Then he got super mouthy at us instead of just saying thanks for the airtime, and he caused a giant headache. And what does he do for us? Is he going to let us come to his world and give a speech? Do we get to speak at the Lebanon state of the city? What? This is not a mutual relationship here. We're not getting anything out of this. Why would we have him back on? I thought we made it very clear. You let us speak at the state of the city. We'll let you come back into our world. Right? Like if somebody invites you over to their house, which we did, one, he was an ass and was complaining about our cooking afterwards. And then he never invited us over to his house. So why would we have him back over to our house? I thought we made that very clear. He's not getting the message. He's tweeting at you again.
Yeah, he did. He sent us a note. He said, hey, Casey, I heard you and Rob have some questions about Meta's plan for a $4.8 billion investment in LEAP. My offer to answer your questions and any other that you have on or off the air still stands. Rob has my cell number, and you can email me.
That's like saying we were going to let Ted Bundy show us where the bodies were buried. Oh, it wasn't there. There must have been no body. No, of course you wouldn't do that. You are not neutral. You are not independent. Hey, Mouthy, here's what we want. An honest evaluation of how the IEDC is blowing through our money. That's what we care about. That's what we're interested in. Because all of this stuff exists and is going to exist because the state of Indiana took money from poor and middle-class people and is pumping it in. Again, reoccurring theme of the show today, some of the largest, most powerful corporations in the world. And apparently, your buddy, the governor, who your dad is super tied into, shares that view with us, which is why he's ordered the forensic audit. Even the governor wants to know what the hell's going on. And yes, Mouthy, your city is probably going to benefit. Your city is probably going to do well if you don't care about, history of communities or taking care of the land or what it's meant or feeding a nation or all these other sort of things. If you're fine with just tearing down beautiful farmland and putting up lifeless, bland, disgustingly dystopian buildings, all of this stuff will probably be fine. It's going to be the property taxes pumped back into the city of Lebanon. What the hell good does that do for me? I don't live in Lebanon. And thank God I don't.
A lot of people are questioning whether Indiana's going to gain enough in return from this investment. And you had said who's getting the money from the $80 million estimated gain in property tax? These are the questions that I would like to ask him and have him answer.
So you would let Bundy go tell you where the bodies were. And Bundy'd be still walking around as a free man right now. If you'd have been in charge of that case, you can't let that him.
You know what happens when we let people talk.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing, though. He's got to do something for us. We've already had him over to our house, and he was a very rude house guest, and he never invited us back to his house. So I am totally against letting somebody come back to my house after they were a horrible house guest the last time until they prove that they've learned their lesson and they'll mind their manners and they're willing to reciprocate the favor. We want to speak, Mouthy. Casey and I want to speak at the Lebanon State of the City. That's what we want. When you do that, then you can come back on the program.
You're listening to Kendall Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here, you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Have you tried Wings Etc.'s new ranch fire sauce? House-made ranch with a fiery kiss of fresh ground habanero peppers and garlic. New ranch fire on our hand-breaded chicken sandwich? Big flavor. On a jalapeno bacon burger? Big flavor. On anything, wings, fries, pretzel bites? Big flavor. When you want to dance with spicy ranch, come to the folks who've been flying the big flavor flag since 1994. Wings Etc. We got your big flavor right here. Visit wingsetc.com.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
In 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what led up to a pilot crashing her plane in Greenwood last month? How much a man is accused of stealing from an elderly relative? And the number of years an Anderson man could be heading to prison in the killing of his wife. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
America's safety is not negotiable. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Attorney General Pam Bondi put that on X this morning after the FBI director posted that no one's above the law. While agents raided John Bolton's house in Maryland. He's a former Trump national security advisor, critical of the president.
They had a very specific list of what they're looking for. Multiple sources say this is related to classified documents. What's not clear if these potentially are the classified documents that Bolton, Ambassador Bolton, after he was fired from the first Trump administration, was trying to hold on to as he wrote his book.
Fox's David Spun. Bolton's Washington office also got searched. And as the raid started, Bolton posted on X, Russia has not changed its goal in Ukraine, demanding territory be handed over, but President Zelensky will never do so. Then Bolton wrote, meetings will continue because President Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize. But he doesn't see talks making any progress to end that war. There were another 76 arrests last night in President Trump's Washington, D.C. crime crackdown, bringing the total number over 700. The president told National Guard troops he visited on the streets yesterday.
You do the job on safety, and I'll get this place fixed up physically.
A New York City police officer was shot this morning in Queens, but his injuries are said to be not life-threatening. The suspected gunman's in custody. A federal judge has sided with environmentalists who had challenged the Alligator Alcatraz Illegal Immigration Detention Center, ordering no more migrants be sent there and the facility to close in 60 days. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis vowing to appeal, saying they'll continue
to help the Trump administration remove illegal aliens from our country. You know, that's the mandate that they have. So we anticipated this, but I don't think it's going to be insurmountable in the end.
The Texas Senate may approve today the congressional redistricting that could give Republicans 5 more House seats in the 2026 elections that California is countering.
We're neutralizing what occurred, and we're giving the American people a fair chance.
Governor Gavin Newsom's plan, voters would have to approve a special November election to give Democrats 5 more House seats. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What happened before the crash? Skies are cloudy, 69 right now in the Circle City. Sunny conditions more likely for this afternoon. The high today, 80. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. The National Transportation Safety Board is releasing its first report on the small plane crash that killed pilot Ong-Tu Nguyen in Greenwood last month. Nguyen was flying solo when she crashed near a gas station July 30th. The NTSB report said the plane made a climbing left turn, followed by a rapid descent to the right before crashing. Nguyen was a graduate of Purdue University, trying to become the 10th woman to fly solo around the world in 2024. A man is arrested for stealing money from his grandmother. Johnette Cruz has the story.
An Indiana man is facing serious charges after stealing a staggering sum of money from an elderly relative. Police arrested Eric Dyer of Batesburg, South Carolina on a warrant for multiple felonies. The arrest follows an investigation that began in May of last year after a financial institution flagged suspicious transactions. Authorities say that as the power of attorney for his elderly grandmother, Dyer siphoned nearly $1 million from her accounts between 2022 and 2024 for his personal use. Dyer was arrested on Thursday at a Madison, Indiana hotel and is being held in the Jefferson County Jail. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
49-year-old Jeremy Henson of Anderson is now facing up to 65 years in prison after a Madison County jury agreed to a felony firearm enhancement Thursday. Henson is set to be sentenced next month. He was convicted in the fatal shooting of his wife inside a vehicle parked at a cemetery near Summitville in June of 2024. Detectives say Henson was sitting in the passenger seat of the SUV with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun and shot his wife 7 times. Michaela Henson worked as a bus driver for the Anderson schools and leaves behind 2 sons. The Colts battling the Bengals in their 3rd and final preseason game Saturday. Riley Leonard will get the start at quarterback before Jason Bean checks in. Head coach Shane Steichen says Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson both will not play. And the Indiana Fever are taking on the Minnesota Lynx tonight after having a 4-day layoff. Head coach Stephanie White with an update on how Caitlin Clark is doing now, dealing with a bone bruise in her ankle.
It's been really frustrating. I mean, Caitlin wants to play. You know, she's a competitor. She just wants to be on the floor. This is really the first time in her career that she's had this string of bad luck, so to speak, if that's what you want to call it. Number one, it's an opportunity to grow and to understand big picture.
Clark has not played since the All-Star break. Tip-off tonight is at 7:30. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Hey, what's up? It's Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel Show for my friends at Diamonds Direct. Keystone at the Crossing, right by the Green Bridge, and direct is the key word because they get their diamonds direct from the source. They eliminate the middleman, and then they pass those savings on to you. The biggest selection, the lowest prices. So, guys, if you're thinking about popping the question, maybe over the holidays, now is the time to get to Diamonds Direct. when you walk in that beautiful showroom, Neve, he's the manager, he's awesome, and the sales staff, they always stay within your budget. There's no pressure for you to spend more than you're comfortable with. Chris is the sales rep that I work with. She's a rock star, but no matter who you work with, you're going to have a great experience. I always go to Diamonds Direct. You should join me. The best in the business. Diamonds Direct. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
These politicians just won't let me leave them alone.
You don't leave them alone either.
I really try, though.
Yeah.
I mean, think about with Diego. How many times have we been like, we're done with this? And then he goes out and like insults us or does something stupid or whatever. Like, these people will just not let me leave them alone, no matter how much in every fiber of my being, I want to be nothing but done with them.
Okay.
So the Lieutenant Governor, Micah Beckwith, he went on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday. And if you notice, for the past week, basically, both on social media and here on these airwaves, I haven't mentioned the guy. And I'd done that because I talked to quite a few people over the past week or so before that, and I'm just sick of him. I'm just sick of the whole thing. And look, I want to preface what we're about to talk about by setting some things up for people, okay? Because I think sometimes people, they get into the show and the entertainment aspect of it, and they sometimes lose track, especially with me, that I am a real person. There is a real person behind what you hear every day. I've got no joy whatsoever out of what has gone down with me and Micah. It has crushed me. Micah was an integral part of my life for basically 4 years. I considered Micah at one point, at least in my mind, he was one of the people I was closest to. He was one of my best friends, probably. And because of that, I allowed things to go on, both things that we saw on this radio program, things we saw publicly, and things I saw personally, that I never would have tolerated with any other politician for months. Because in my mind, I kept justifying it. In my mind, I kept saying, yeah, but. And despite, and really most of it comes down to him not telling the truth, him not leveling with people, him not being straight with people, him outright lying about things. And finally, I had a conversation, and this is actually a conversation with somebody who Micah knows very well and has been around for many times, and by all accounts, he thinks very highly of this person. Because I was struggling with this. Like, how do I handle this? And finally, this person told me something that really registered with me, and this is basically about the time we had to just cut him off. They said, if it were any other person, if we're any other politician, would you be treating them the way you're treating Micah? And I thought about it for a while, and I said, the answer's no. And they said, then you can't do it anymore. Your job, the thing you do, the reason people trust you, is because you hold all of these people accountable. And if you're not going to hold him to the same standard you hold everybody else, then you might as well just pack it up, dude.
It's hypocrisy.
Right. And I said, you're absolutely right. And so for the past 2 months, 3 months, whatever it's been now, I have been doing the thing that I actually told Mike I was going to do when he got elected, which is treat him like every single other politician. Hold him to the same level of account that I hold every single other politician. He claimed he wanted it. I mean, it's obvious now he really didn't. But that's what I do every single day. And it breaks my heart to have to do it. Because I wanted Micah so badly, Casey. You know, we hate all these people. And I so badly wanted him to be the one guy that was different. I so badly wanted to believe what he was saying when he was running and the time that I had spent around him, that he was going to be different, that he was going to stand up for the people, that he was going to fight the battles that needed to be fought. And it just simply hasn't happened. He just simply isn't that person. He's just another politician. He's just another guy. And so before we talk about all this stuff, because it's all, Rob's doing this for ratings, Rob's it, the blah, blah. We don't need Micah for our ratings. We were number one way before Micah. We'll be number one after Micah. You tune in for a whole swath of reasons that have nothing to do with Micah Beckwith. We could make two kids playing in a park entertaining. We don't need Micah Beckwith or a feud or a made-up feud. This has broken my heart to have to go through this, but my obligation is always to you. And if there are people out there who people I've been friends with for years now are mad at me, it's fine. Gotta look myself in the mirror. So I wanted to touch on that. Okay, before we get to Hammer and Nigel, I want to talk about these town halls for a second, if that's all right, because he was on yesterday. Now they did a fabulous job with this interview. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to the whole thing. We're gonna play some clips coming up here in a second because there's some stuff we have to address, but. The town halls are, I think, an important insight into the whole Micah MO. Because, for those of you who don't know, I think most people do by now, he had a town hall. He goes around the state. It's set up in a Charlie Kirk type fashion where there's a loudspeaker, right, and somebody has a microphone. And, I mean, look, Charlie Kirk's his hero, and he wants to be Charlie Kirk, and that's what why he set this up the way it is. And he had a town hall in Warwick County, and there were some people there who are totally nuts and got totally out of control. And those people were ultimately arrested, and it sounds like they should have been, and that's a good thing. When you go to an event with a government official, we always tell you be loud, right? Be intense, but you got to follow the laws. You can't be violent with people. You can't be causing a disturbance. You have to operate inside the confines of decent society. The problem with these town halls is that that's what Micah wants.
Well, we always say we want them to be transparent, and here is a statewide elected official who is going out and engaging with constituents.
But he's not. He's doing this for himself. Those people, because they can't control themselves, they gave him exactly what he wanted. He is all over the news, which is what he craves, which is attention, because of the way they behaved. They gave him exactly what they wanted. And here's how I know. He's been doing these town halls for, 6 months now, right? Basically. He pretty much started them as soon as he got elected. But we'll err on the side of caution and say 6 months. In the 6 months, because he says, I'm here to listen to you, right? I'm here to get feedback. Okay, first of all, he has no power. He has no ability to make a law, right? So it's like ridiculous that he's supposedly out on this listening tour. I've seen the town halls. I've watched them live stream. Most of the town halls are not him listening. It's him fighting with people, which is what he wants. He's trying to get viral moments. He's trying to get himself on the news. And if you don't believe me that that's what these town halls are actually about, which is they are about him and not you, can anybody tell me one piece of legislation? He's been doing these for 6 months all over the state. Can anybody tell me one piece of legislation that Micah Beckwith has proposed out of these town halls where he has had a press conference, he has said, I heard this, I've gone to LSA, I've written this down, I'm presenting this to Rod Bray, to Todd Houston. Can you tell me one thing he has done out of these town halls, this supposed listening tour, that benefits anybody but himself? Do you know?
No, he doesn't create legislation, but you're saying he needs to go to the people that do and say, this is what I've learned. This is what is priority for Hoosiers. We need to take care of this.
Sure, he claims like he's always, oh, yeah, I'm against the utility rates going up. But then he'll say something asinine like, well, if you're not growing, you're dying. Well, what is the state doing? How is the state growing? The state is, quote unquote, growing on all of these things that are going to raise utility bills. Does he have any proposed legislation? He's heard this from every place he's gone. He's heard the same thing from people. If the town halls were really about anything but himself, he would be proposing. Org Day is what, 2.5 months away, right? Where all the doing starts going. Mm-hmm. If he had some big thing of all these things that he had heard, it would be out by now. It's like as laughable as Braun saying, like, I'm coming back next year for something on property taxes. You aren't coming back for anything. Because if you were, you'd have it out by now. You had 1.5 years on your property tax thing. Where'd that get you? It got you nowhere. We're going to believe in 2 months. You're going to, sell somebody on some transformational local government reform or whatever he's trying to convince those well-meaning people that he meets with that he's going to do. Of course not. There's nothing you can look at out of these town halls that Micah has done that is in any way going to benefit you. None. Zero. There would be tons of policies being proposed. He barely even ever posts on social media about anything he's for or against as it relates to things that have come out of these town halls. So people need to get it through their heads. When you go to these town halls, you are going to benefit him. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't have the ability to help you. And he wants the viral moment that he got the other night. Now, he's putting people in danger by doing this. Somebody's going to get seriously hurt at one of these eventually. Maybe he's okay with that. I don't know. But if you go to one of these going forward, recognize there is not one thing he has done out of them in 6 months that has been proposed publicly. He can't even point to a meeting he's had with Bray or Houston or Braun about them because he hasn't. It's about helping himself. And if you go to them, he's not processing what you're telling him. He's helping himself. All right, let's take a break. And by the way, we're only doing this because he went on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday, and he said some totally ridiculous stuff. Stuff that is totally unacceptable for us to let it go. We'll talk about it. We'll play you the audio when we come back.
It's 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher. B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher. B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
Summer's not over yet. Shouldn't you be out on the water? Today is the day to get the boat you've been dreaming of. It's the 2025 Model Year Blowout Sale going on now, only at Just Add Water Boats. Save big on 2025 boats and wave runners from in-stock brands like Yamaha, Chaparral, Hurricane, Godfrey, Crest Pontoons, and more. Don't wait another year to get out on the water. Start making waves today at the 2025 Model Year Blowout Sale going on now at Just Add Water Boats. See the inventory now at justaddwaterboats.com.
Potential cannot be measured, and it can't be taken away from you either. You never know how strong you are, how capable, and how amazing you really are until you face a challenge. Our Franciscan Health orthopedic teams guide the steps you take to overcome life's hurdles. Be ready for the high fives, the constant encouragement and care plans designed for only you that help you realize your extraordinary potential. Learn more at franciscanhealth.org/orthocare.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Okay, so we got to play some of this audio from the Lieutenant Governor with Hammer and Nigel yesterday, because they did a phenomenal job interviewing him, and they got a lot of stuff on the record that is just, it's fascinating. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. All right, so I'm going to say this because, like, and Casey, you know this. You've been around me for a long time. When I get information, do I just run out and tell everybody about it?
No.
When I get stories, do I just immediately throw them up on social media? Do I run on these airwaves? Or do I spend a lot of time verifying sources? Like, let's take the Mike Bohachik, the state senator who is alleged to have blown the .283 and the DUI charges and all that stuff, right? You knew about that for quite a while. How long did I sit on that and get things confirmed before I ran out with it?
It was a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Bo Baird story. The state rep from Putnam County, who Bo Baird had the OWI in whatever that was, 2017 or 18, and nobody knew about it. He didn't disclose it because conveniently some wrong things were entered into the public record, right? How long did I sit on that before I verified sources to get it right?
Yeah, that was a while. And that happens with a lot of this stuff. It takes a while for all of the information to be released.
And that's why over the 9 years that I've been here, when I come out with stuff, when I break news, when I say things, that's what how can you think of a time on a big story where I've run out with something, where I've been didn't go through this process, right, to verify, to painstakingly, independently of multiple sources, right, get information before I brought it out? So I can say safely that there is a grand jury that is looking into Micah's office. There is a investigation going on related to that. I can safely say it is more than just artificial intelligence pornography. The investigation is bigger than that. And one of the things that is very frustrating is that I struggle to see how, if I know that's going on, as a total outsider to the State House, as a total outsider to Indiana politics and government, I really struggle to see how Micah himself, with $3.5 million worth of staff at his disposal, couldn't also know that was going on. And yet, yesterday on Hammer and Nigel, and we will play you some of these clips here, he appears to vehemently deny any of this is taking place or having knowledge that it's taking place. And the thing that really gets me is the first person to talk about a grand jury wasn't me, wasn't Abdul, wasn't Tom Lobianco. It was the husband of Micah's chief of staff. That was the first guy to stooge out that apparently there was a grand jury, because he used the phrase grand jury on his social media account. Now, this guy then proceeded to go at Hammer, and we covered their feud back and forth, and Hammer addressed this yesterday with Micah. Let's take a little listen to this.
A lot of questions, a lot of rumors about what's going on in your office. There was this story of an AI video that was being shared in your office. And then the husband of your chief of staff, this moron, goes on social media, rips WIBC, and saying that we're all bought by Soros. And I get if there's a beef with other members of our station here, but when this idiot starts bringing me into this thing, that's where I got a problem, Micah. He's the one that said there was a grand jury involved. May have been an accident, but he put it out on social media. So the $1 million question is there a grand jury looking into activities from your office?
No, we haven't heard that. And listen, okay, Stu is he's a friend, but he's not part of our office. Okay, Sherry's doing a great job.
He's a moron, Micah, and we know each other well enough. I can say he's embarrassing his wife.
Okay, so we're led to believe then that the husband of Micah's chief of staff, who, yeah, he doesn't technically work for the office, but he just made up the phrase grand jury, that he just pulled that out of his backside, and he would do that to his wife and to Micah, who's a close friend of his, and everybody else, without it being true? That's what we're led to believe has happened here in the dismissive way in which he just pushed that aside. All right, so they went on then to ask him a little bit more about the AI porn side of things, and I want to play that audio clip and respond to it. Take a listen.
Micah, you said your office did like an internal investigation of this whole saga here. And I've said on the air, look, I don't know if the video exists. I don't know. I have no idea. But if I heard Joe Hogsett say, we've done an investigation and everything's fine, I'd have a hard time with that. Are you open to having somebody else like do an investigation?
If they can actually give me a shred of evidence that this thing actually exists, I'm not just going to let these Abduls drag our office into these types of battles all day long, because all they have to do then next week is create some other lie and an allegation, and then we're back into another investigation. I'm not going to play that game with them. If someone can prove to me that there is a video and that it was watched or seen in my office, or there was some aspect of proof, we will absolutely have someone else come in and do the investigation. But at this point, we've done our internal investigation. We did it thoroughly. We interviewed every person that was allegedly had some connection to being accused of being a part of this or knew of this, and every single time we could not find a shred of evidence that this thing actually occurred.
Okay, here's the problem with that. He's now admitted there's no law enforcement that came in. There's no person who has any background on this whatsoever. There's no person with any skill set whatsoever. Not even forensics or us, not the state police, not Marion County Prosecutor's Office. At least now we know, and great job by Hammer and Nigel, it's just him asking his buddies, did you do it? He has no computer background to do this. He didn't bring in a third party. And okay, fine, if that's what you want to do, but that's your investigation. That is the investigation at this point. And if Micah's fine with that, it's his office. The problem with that, though, is he's allowing his guys to twist in the wind because of this. If these are not only his workers, they're some of his closest friends and supporters. And he supposedly had this magic key to set all of this free. And by the way, if LaBianco's wrong, the guy who wrote the story, I've said this numerous times, they should sue that guy for everything he has. If he just made this story up, they should sue him for everything he has. And one of them's an attorney, so it wouldn't cost anything to file. Now, the problem with this, though, is that I have talked to someone who alleges that they saw the video. And they have described to me in great detail, not only seeing the video, but the circumstances around which the video was viewed, and that person is cooperating with the authorities. So if that person's lying, this would be the most crazy thing to lie about, because they have put themselves potentially to be in such a world of hurt, such a world of trouble. Like, they go to prison, they could face all of this stuff. Why would that person lie about that? It's easy to say, oh, Abdul's a gossip girl, and he's a this, and he's that. What about me, Micah? How many times have I been right about stuff over the years? How many times have I been right about stuff? Hell, we got the J.D. Vance thing. And Casey, how long did I go through that? I had that way ahead of time and sat on it, and we were first on that. So now do that with me, Micah. Say that about me. Say Rob Kendall's a gossip girl. Say I just make it up. You can't do that. That's the problem. I've talked to somebody who says they viewed the video. Now, again, if they're lying, they're going to be in a whole world of trouble. All right, I want to take one more break because there's one other clip I want to play, because they asked him directly about the grand jury. And I want to play that because I think that may be the most important thing of all.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too.
With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is zero and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An unexpected morning raid. 70 now, a cloudy sky in downtown Indy. 80 will be the high today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:30. FBI agents raiding the Maryland home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton, and they could potentially be looking for classified documents. Bolton did not have a heads up on the raid. FBI Director Kash Patel posted to social media this morning saying, in part, quote, "No one is above the law." Bolton served in the first Trump administration and has been a vocal critic of the president. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky speaking to reporters in Kiev today. The Secretary General confirming they are working alongside the U.S. and European allies to help bring about peace talks between Russia and Ukraine.
After a peace deal / a long-term ceasefire or a combination of the two, the first layer has to be for the Ukrainian armed forces to be as strong as possible to defend this proud country and nation going forward.
President Trump previously hosted his Ukrainian counterpart and other European allies to discuss peace at the White House earlier this week. This comes after Russia launched a drone and missile attack on Ukraine earlier this week, too. A federal judge issuing a preliminary injunction on Thursday halting Florida from bringing more detainees to the immigration detention center known as Alligator Alcatraz. U.S. District Court Judge Kathleen Williams says this is meant to formalize a temporary halt that she ordered weeks ago, adding she expected the number of detainees in the facility to decrease within 60 days. The judge found that Florida and the Trump administration are violating the National Environmental Policy Act and threatening the sensitive Everglades ecosystem. And Tobey Maguire's iconic Spider-Man 2 suit could be yours if you have the money for it. It's up for auction with bidding set to close on September 4th. The starting price for the suit expected to be around $50,000. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Lynn just loves the summer in Indy, but she's not going to spend it painting. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has a 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey guys, it's Rob for my friend Mark Deedle. What a great Hoosier, and it's a pleasure to tell you all about him. You know, Zillow ranks number 2, Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest market. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Deedle. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity in order to do it. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Luke and Emma in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Deedle. We began building our new dream home, and we needed to sell our old place at the great price to pay for it. The Mark Deedle team made it easy with multiple offers in the first weekend and closed in 25 days at the price we wanted. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Okay, we got to play some more audio from this this interview that Lieutenant Governor did with the Hammer Nigel yesterday. But look, before we get to that, I want to say this again, because this has torn a lot of people apart, what's being alleged to have happened in the Lieutenant Governor's office. And this is look, many people that I've known for years are very angry with me right now for covering the story. And my message to the people at large is my obligation to you has always been here 9 years. And when I started here, I was as low on the totem pole as you could get, and we've all risen together, right? And there were people who, when I started here, couldn't stand me, and people like Jerry Lopez. He talks about this all the time, because I am resolute in my search of the truth and holding politicians accountable. And my obligation to you is to hold everybody to the same level once they have, put their hand on the Bible and taken the oath of office. And I think I got a really good track record of giving you information that I know when I know it. And if you want to be upset at me for that, because I'm treating this guy the way I've treated everybody else, then that's okay. If you want to be mad at me because of that, fine. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But I'd be doing a disservice to the tens of thousands of people who listen every day if I didn't give you this information once it comes from sources that I trust or things that I know to be true. If I just didn't tell you because I was worried, well, he's popular in this corner or this guy's popular in that corner. That's my job. That's what we do here every day. And so I love you too much. I care about you, the audience, too much to not tell you these things. And you can be mad at me if you want, and that's just life. All right, so I did want to play one other clip, and Jason Hammer will be with us next to go in depth a little bit more on this, because they did a great job with this interview. So Hammer and Nigel asked the Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith yesterday if indeed there is a grand jury investigation into his office. This is what he had to say.
Is there no grand jury investigation?
Yeah, I'm hearing grand jury. No. I'm hearing stuff from our coworker Abdul Hakim Shabazz about ghosts, employment, and timesheets and campaign. Campaign stuff that's not going on.
No, listen, I don't know anything about a grand jury. We haven't heard anything. I don't know anyone in my office who's been contacted by the by the prosecutor's office.
Okay. So the problem for me with that, one, is that the chief of staff's husband appeared to admit there is a grand jury investigation unprompted. That's a major issue. I don't think any reasonable person would think, well, he just made that up. Why would he do that? How would that in any way benefit his wife or Micah, who he's very close to? Why would he use that phrase? But let's just take that out of the equation. The problem is, I know multiple people who have given information to the authorities which they have said is being presented to a grand jury. So, in order for that to not be true, not only would the chief of staff's husband have to be wrong, but multiple people who have had to take their own time and spend their own money to be honest, decent, forthright people, they would have to be lying to me about the engagements that they have had. And I have a very hard time. One person, maybe. But when you put it all together, it seems like a snowball of people saying reliable things that there is a grand jury looking into this office. Now, look, a grand jury doesn't mean, let's be fair about this, a grand jury doesn't mean there's going to be any convictions. A grand jury doesn't mean there's even going to be any indictments. Their job is to look into things and then come back with recommendations. But I just can't fathom that if I know about this stuff as a total outsider, that the lieutenant governor himself also doesn't know what's going on, or that this is alleged to be going on. So that's it. Look, I wanted to be done with it. I was done with it. You notice I haven't said anything for basically a week on social media or on here, but I cannot let some guy come on our airwaves and say things that just appear to be completely inconsistent with the facts as they know them, or completely hypocritical, and not address if he's going to do it here on WIBC.
Hammer's going to join us next. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, the raid on the former NSA director John Bolton's home. Why did it happen, and what did they find? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors, and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
If you've started thinking about what to wear this fall, your timing is perfect, because Macy's Fall Preview event has early deals on looks everyone will be wearing. Romantic dresses from BCBG and Avec Les Filles, Western-inspired boots and bags from Steve Madden, all 25% off. Plus, take 15 to 25% off fall beauty from Yves Saint Laurent, Estee Lauder, and Clinique. Don't wait. This fall preview won't be around for long, so come into Macy's today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Everyone knows that PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is the place to get one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces. Diamonds, gold, gemstones, watches, everything. But PA Jewelers at the farmhouse is also the place to sell your jewelry, your watches, your coins, or bullion. PA Jewelers has the best prices and the best payouts. And they walk you through the process so you know what your pieces are worth and what you're getting. PA Jewelers at the farmhouse, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg, or online at pajewelers.jewelry. That's pajewelers.jewelry.
The Home and Garden Show will be live this Saturday from 9 to 1 at Nature Spire, Carmel's only plant boutique. Explore lush plants, stunning moss art, one-of-a-kind trinkets, bouquet bar blooms, and more. Enter to win the classic pumpkin package. Winner announced after the event must be present to win.
College football starts tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know you and I both believe it's ridiculous that they call something week 0, but that's what it's known as.
Right. If you have $0 in your bank account, do you have any money?
No.
No. But we have week 0 with meaningful college football games.
And your name is Jason Hammer, by the way, one half of the Hammer and Nigel Afternoon Show. Now, there's actually a very important game tomorrow, which is, you and I got into this on the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting Podcast, new episode now out. You and I got into this yesterday, that I would hate for my team to have a meaningful game week 1. Like, I need a week or two, couple of weeks, get some wins under our belt, feel good about the team. One of these in this Kansas State Iowa State game in Dublin.
It's a conference game.
Yeah, and these are the two of the tippy top, or believed to be tippy top teams in the Big 12. You could be really behind the 8 ball until only week 1.
And I'm here for it, though. Like, if you're going to play a big game, do it early, because then you've got time to recover if you lose. But with it being a conference game, that's different, because we've got Ohio State and Texas next week in their openers. Whoever loses that game still has a pretty good chance to make the college football playoff, assuming you just don't crap the bed the rest of the year. So I like when they schedule hard games early on, but this is a conference game, 2 ranked teams right out of the gate, and we've all got action on it. Free picks and plays on the Degenerates Next Door podcast. Please follow the Twitter account. We're trying to grow that thing up a little bit at Gambling Stuff. We're going to start doing some contesting on that thing.
Nice.
And, yeah, the new podcast is out. Rob and I, we do the homework. We do our diligence. We make our plays. Last year, we each had winning records. And we also work with 2 professional handicappers. And we basically put a gun to their heads and make them give us free plays.
Yeah, our pros are like straight out of Central Casting. Like the one guy we call the Big Hairy American.
Yes, because he is. Kenny Brett of KB Sports. And the other,
like straight out of Central Casting, like American
Sports. Guy David, he is the prototypical degenerate gambler, right? You can't have the Degenerates Next Door without a guy like David, a fall never fade.
He's been pretty, I think he's even talked about it on the show, that Casey, like, what's your earliest memory with your parents? Like, is there something that you remember, like going to a park or, playground or doing the ABCs? Is it like, do you know what your earliest childhood memory is?
Yes.
What is it?
I threw up on my mom.
Well, okay, there you go. David's earliest memory. How about you, Hammer? You remember your earliest childhood memory?
Playing ball with the old man.
Yeah, exactly, right. Well, thanks for taking the bit, Casey. Very good. But yes, for most people, it's usually some meaningful thing. David's earliest childhood memory is filling out gambling sheets with his old man, right?
Yes, because his old man was a real gambling degenerate long before this fancy schmancy legal sports betting stuff.
Yeah.
So these are the people that we work with. Again, Truth in Advertising. We are the Degenerates Next Door. And starting here in a couple weeks, once the NFL season starts, we're doing 2 podcasts a week. Tuesday will be the college show, and Thursday will be the NFL.
And if you'd like to sponsor our program, how can people get a hold of us? Because we, as we talked about on the show yesterday, we do a good job shilling for stuff. Like, we get people in the door, and that's why all the WIBC advertisers keep coming back. We'll shill for stuff on the gambling show, too.
We've sold out. Hammer and Nigel Show has sold out everything that we've done. Whether it's an event, whether it's a bottle of bourbon, whether it's a bottle of tequila, charity events. We've sold out everything we're done. So if you want to sponsor the project that Rob and I do, the sports betting thing, it doesn't even have to be gambling related. If you're a company, it doesn't matter. We'll find some way to incorporate you. Just email me, hammerandnigel@wibc.com.
Very easy. hammerandnigel@wibc.com. Speaking of Hammer and Nigel, we spent a lot of this hour obviously focused on this. I thought your interview with the Lieutenant Governor was fascinating yesterday, and we played a couple of clips of that. And I would just be curious to get your thoughts on the whole thing. I did love your editorial comment on the husband.
Well, this idiot's still doubling down on it. This is why Hammer's upset, because I found this. And it's factually wrong information. Yeah. Imagine having the wrong piece of information and you keep sharing it over and over again, thinking it's some sort of own. Like if I said 2 + 2 = 7 and somebody calls me out on it, I'm not going to keep sharing my wrong mathematical equation. See, this is what he's upset about. See, you're a moron. And I feel bad for the guy's wife, because it's the guy's wife. I don't know who she is, but I bet she's dealing with a lot right now. She seems like a nice person. She's probably buried, up to her neck at work. And then her idiot husband is making things more difficult for her. So instead of coming home and relaxing on social media, she's got to find out what Captain Moron's doing.
Yeah, and we thought he was done, right?
He said he was done, but he can't help himself.
Yeah, and
he's one of those guys that because his wife is successful, he's having a hard time with it.
So he's, I think convinced himself. Because, look, and we don't mind talking about it, right? Years before Urban One owned WIBC, and years before a major company named Odyssey, which owns radio stations across the country, was owned by George Soros. Or a company that he's a part of owns part of Odyssey now.
The big bad George Soros.
Yeah.
Right. Years before any of this happened, Odyssey and Urban One had some sort of content sharing partnership. Not that Odyssey is running Urban One, not that they're making any choices for Urban One, not that they're dictating how Urban One does anything, but simply because, again, before anything, Soros owned Odyssey or Urban One owned us.
When we were owned by Jeff Smulyan,
they had some sort of content sharing agreement. He alluded to the chief of staff's husband wanted people to think like somehow that was proof we were being controlled by George Soros. Is that, I don't even know what he was trying to say, but that is that like why we were being critical of Mike? Like, I don't even understand what he was getting at, but that's his thing.
Yeah, and we kept trying to explain to Perry Mason over there, all of this happened before the sale of this company took place. And even now, we have no relationship with George Soros. The things that I have said about Ryan Mears and the things that I have said about Joe Hogsett, if I were given barking orders by George Soros, would I still be here today?
Right.
And I've simply pointed this out. But again, Matlock over there seems like he's got it all figured out, and he keeps making his wife's job more difficult. What a crappy thing to do as a husband.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, let me just say this real quick since we're rolling. Listen, I love church. I love religion. I'm a man that believes in God. I talk to God every single day. And I've talked about this. People might be surprised by this. I have a little chat with God every day when I drive into work. We have it out to have a conversation. I'm thankful for my blessings. I'm thankful for my family, all that kind of stuff. There is a big place in this world for religion and beliefs. But man, these church people don't know what they're doing running the lieutenant governor's office. I'm not talking about Micah. I'm talking about the people he surrounded himself with. It sounds like, and Rob, you would probably know this better than anybody because you've been covering this story from the beginning. Most of the people in that office don't know anything at all about politics. They're like his church people. Which, okay, that's great. I'm sure they're fantastic people. I would like to have a pitch-in picnic with these people. I would watch a Colts game with these people. They're going to get Micah in trouble. They don't know what they're doing, and now they're getting cocky.
We recommended some people that Micah should bring into his orbit who know how the state government works. Some of those people were not selected, and that's fine. The people who were selected from outside that orbit were generally not listened to.
Right.
And I agree. This is not, and one of the things that I don't think some people realize is government is not the Wild West.
Right.
There
and
are
listen,
rules.
I
And
don't want to be
have do
anti-religion here. I'm not, because I don't want anybody
I don't
on
think
the
everybody thinks you are.
YouTube chat because I'm a church guy. I love God. I'm into Jesus. I am. I'm that dude. But if I'm laying on a table needing heart surgery, I don't want somebody from my church to come in and operate on me because they don't know what they're doing.
You want a highly qualified
You
surgeon.
want somebody that's qualified to do what they do.
Especially, and this is one of the things that I tried to relay, and as usual in most of my life, just like at my home, my advice is ignored in the order in which it's received, that when you're going to be the guy who is elected by sticking your fingers in the eyes of the power structure, every eye is going to be on you.
Oh, sure.
You're not going to get any breaks. You're not going to get things ignored that other people may do.
Which means you need to be above reproach.
Absolutely. And look, again, who knows what's ultimately going to come down or come of all of this? I don't know. But you're right, Hammer. You have to have a certain amount of people in an office, especially when you have run as the guy that's made everybody mad, right? Where you have people who know how to make the trains run on time.
How is this okay in any other job? Like, not that he's done much better, but could you imagine if Chris Ballard said, all right, we've got the number 5 pick in this year's draft. The LSU quarterback's available. But I really think the guy from my church can help me out a little bit more. Like, what other job is that acceptable?
Yeah. I thought it was a great interview. And you guys touched on a lot more than what we played on the show. They're definitely doing this redistricting thing, right? It's going down.
It feels like it. Now, we're working on getting the governor back in here sometime soon, and we will ask him flat out about the redistricting thing when it comes. By the way, for whatever reason, I have a hard time saying the word
redistricting.
Yeah. Hammer has some weird anomalies. I think every person does. Like, you can't take can't do pills,
yeah,
right?
I got to chew everything up.
Yeah.
Chew everything up.
So you have to smash your pills? Is that what you do with them?
Either mix it with an applesauce or just chew it up like it's a Tic Tac.
That's an amazing thing to me. Is that like just like some sort of physical anomaly, or is it just a mental thing? Like in
it's
your
a
head?
mental block.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Like everybody tells me, you eat bigger pieces of meat than this pill. Yeah, I know it. I'm a moron. I don't know what more you want me to say.
So it's just the act of actually swallowing the pill. Do you have any weird anomaly, Casey, like of something that you just can't do, or that people would go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that?
No, I excel at everything, Rob.
Well, way to be an open book, Casey. Thanks for playing along. That's great.
This
for
has been
the
a
show.
dynamite segment by Casey here today. She stepped all over your bit, and then she has nothing to contribute to that question. Dynamite drop in there, Monty. That broadcast school is really paying off.
It's Friday.
Hey, you and I had a fun thing with redistricting the other day, which you and I think just disagree. This is all about you hating Rod Bray. Like, you feel like this is going to be some one-up on Rod Bray if they do redistricting.
No, it's not even really about redistricting. It's about your hatred of Charlie Kirk. Now, so Charlie Kirk, the national influencer guy, he's putting out statements. Now, his statements are about redistricting.
Right.
But the statements themselves say, listen, if the leadership of Indiana doesn't want to do this, we're going to primary them. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Paraphrasing, of course. And my whole thing was, look, redistricting aside, anybody that wants to try to replace Rod Bray, you get a standing ovation from me. And that's the one guy that's holding everything back in the state, Rob. He crapped all over your signature issue, which was property taxes, but because Charlie Kirk's saying it, you don't like it. Had Adam Wren said it, or if James Briggs of the Indy Star said it, you'd have taken off your pants and jacket.
I'm not allowed to have any friends unless Hammer approves. What's coming up this afternoon?
We're going to do some barguments this afternoon. Dan Levy's going to join us. It's Beer Sample Friday. Francis Martell of Breitbart. Let's have a show.
Oh, my goodness. We got a big guest next, Casey. Our pal, Doug Carter, former state police superintendent. He's going to come spit some fire on the Kleinhelter investigation.
It's 93 WIBC.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
At Puccini's, we think less screen time and more quality mealtime is the better way. Eat, talk, and dine with less blue light glaring or talking heads blaring while enjoying great food at a reasonable price is the Puccini's way. Dine in for hot, delicious food prepared fresh and to your liking. If you need anything, we're right there so you'll leave full and happy. We have delivery options and carryout, but let's start dining in together again the way we all used to enjoy so much.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, what the NTSB is saying in their initial report about a plane crash in Greenwood last month. The number of years an Anderson man could be spending in prison for killing his wife last summer. It's a full weekend of football at every level, including the opening week of high school football tonight in the state of Indiana. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
He doesn't know anything about it. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump just said about the FBI raid this morning at the Maryland home of John Bolton, a national security advisor he fired in his first administration. Fox's David Spunt reports.
Worked with FBI Director Patel to provide limited access to some U.S. intelligence that resulted in this morning's raid. Now, we're told that this is likely related to Bolton potentially mishandling classified documents while preparing to write his book.
Bolton, a Trump critic, posted on X after the raid started. He sees no progress in any talks to end Russia's war in Ukraine, but they continue because he says the president wants to win the Nobel Prize. Now, the president again said he hopes the leaders of Russia and Ukraine meet face to face.
They don't get along too well for obvious reasons, but we'll see, and then we'll see whether or not I would have to be there. I'd rather not. I'd rather have them have a meeting and see how they can do. But in the meantime, they continue to fight and they continue to kill people, which is very stupid.
The president spoke at the Kennedy Center monitoring construction there and also said this about the Washington, D.C. crime crackdown.
They can come up with fake numbers like the mayor is doing. Oh, no, it was going down for 20 years. You didn't live here. You know, have you been mugged, okay? D.C. was a hellhole. And now it's safe.
Touting there hasn't been a murder in over a week since the crackdown began. The Federal Reserve Chairman, who's under pressure from the president to slash interest rates, has just hinted the cut may be coming, sending stocks soaring. The Dow's up almost 800 points. It hit a record high. Jerome Powell also said there's uncertainty.
Significantly higher tariffs across our trading partners are remaking the global trading system. Tighter immigration policy has led to an abrupt slowdown in labor force growth.
The next chance for the Fed to cut interest rates is at a meeting next month. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Releasing the first details of the crash. Skies are cloudy. It's 71 on Monument Circle. 80 is the high today. Some sunshine possible this afternoon. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's 11:02. The sky over Greenwood calm the morning of July 30th when a small plane lifted off, but its journey lasting less than 2 minutes. Ryan Hedrick reports.
A small plane carrying On2 Wind crashed in Greenwood on July 30th, just 90 seconds after takeoff, says the NTSB. The plane climbed in a left turn for about 30 seconds before sharply descending to the right. Engine readings were normal. Nobody on the ground was injured. The NTSB is still looking into this. Wynn was a Purdue University graduate. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
On Thursday, a Madison County jury agreeing to a felony firearm enhancement for Jeremy Henson, who shot and killed his wife, Michaela, in the summer of 2024. Investigators say the two were parked at a cemetery a few miles west of Summitville, with Jeremy sitting in the passenger seat. He shot his wife 7 times with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. After obtaining a search warrant, police found a box in a closet at Jeremy's home that went with the firearm used in the murder. He's expected to be sentenced September 28th and faces up to 65 years in prison. An arrest is made in a case of elder financial abuse. 54-year-old Eric Dyer taken into custody in Madison, Indiana, after a multi-agency investigation. Police say Dyer, who was the power of attorney for his grandmother, took nearly $1 million from her. The Fever taking on the best team in the WNBA tonight in the Minnesota Lynx. Caitlin Clark remains out as she is dealing also with a bone bruise on her ankle to go with her groin injury. Tonight's tip-off set for 7:30. Colts head coach Shane Steichen happy to say they will be getting some pieces back on defense in Jalen Jones and Juju Brents for their final preseason game Saturday against the Bengals.
We want to get those guys back out there and healthy, and obviously Juju practiced today and Jones is tracking well. So Juju will get some reps on Saturday. get those game reps. But to get those guys back, I'll be big for the depth there.
The defense has been hampered by many injuries thus far. Riley Leonard will start at quarterback. No Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. And tonight is week 1 of the high school football season in Indiana. Most games kick off at 7 o'clock local time. You can tune in to Indiana Sports Talk with Bob Lovell afterwards. Also tomorrow, week 0 in college football with a few games on the slate. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
He's a close political ally of the governor. He was accused of impropriety. The story went away, and now it's back, and it's all thanks to us. It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here, joined in studio. Our old pal, he's the former state police superintendent. Doug Carter joins us now. Doug, hello.
Good morning to you.
All right, so you are not the person we were talking about there. We're talking about Tom Kleinhelter. You joined us, this has been about a month ago now, and laid out how when you were the state police superintendent, Tom Kleinhelter is the sheriff of Du Bois County. You were overseeing or helping oversee an investigation that produced an 80-page probable cause affidavit alleging impropriety related to monies being spent out of the commissary related to trips for Kleinhelter and his wife. Do I have that correct?
You do.
Okay,
yes,
very good. And there was a special prosecutor involved. You felt like everything was going well, that you had put one of your best men, Jeff Heron, in charge of that, 35-plus years with the Indiana State Police. You felt like you guys had, I think we'd use the term, sort of an ironclad case that had been built there. And then all of a sudden, new year, Braun becomes governor. You're no longer state superintendent, and magically the charges just don't get filed.
Yes, essentially, that's correct.
Okay. So you came on, talked about the concerns with that. We did a whole hour on it. That was just really great the way you had laid all that out. And so now the news across the state, which is good, caught on to this story, and many people are starting to cover it. Are you surprised at how the media caught on to this story after your interview?
No, I'm not, and it just shows the breadth of your reach, quite honestly, because that was the first step of it.
So we had the Capitol Chronicle on. Casey Smith did a big article about it, and one of the things that they did, as Capitol Chronicle always does, they talk to everybody, including the special prosecutor herself, Holly Huddleston, who is from Orange County, which is a neighboring county. Now, to reset this, when in 24, when you guys were doing this investigation, did anybody give you any hint, hey, she's having reservations, she's got concerns about this 80-page probable cause affidavit? Did anybody lay out anything to you at the time of, hey, something seems amiss here from her side or her office?
Oh, absolutely not. Quite the contrary, Rob. The information that was learned through the internal investigation indicated by 3 detectives from the state police that she never, ever voiced any of those concerns.
Is that normal? Does a prosecutor throughout the process, are they kept up to date? And do they normally, if they have concerns, do they normally say something as the investigation's going on?
Oh, sure. And she did that. She wanted Jeff to follow up on several facets of the investigation to prove intent.
So she was communicating with him, and at no point was she like, boy, I got serious concerns.
Oh, absolutely not. No, there are emails, text messages, phone conversations. Jeff never talked to her independently by himself. He was always with another detective when he talked to her, and quite frankly, thought the relationship was good.
Okay, so according to the Indiana Capital Chronicle, they interviewed this Holly Huddleston. She claims no one from the governor's office, that was in quotes, influenced her decision not to seek the charges. And she said, quote, I didn't feel like there were criminal charges there, so I declined to file charges. And we told Casey Smith at the time, Casey, I think you were out on vacation. I said, well, no kidding, lady. Obviously, there were no criminal charges filed, but she doesn't appear to offer any sort of reason why she felt the 80-page probable cause affidavit was bogus or wrong or whatever.
Yeah, and that's absolutely correct. And the question would be, did anyone communicate with you about this case? I never suggested that Mike Braun called her.
Yeah.
Or that Josh Kelly called her.
Right.
But I wonder if either one of those two people communicated with the top 2 or 3 members of the ISP, or if they communicated with her directly. The ISP communicated with, specifically the top administration.
Because one of the things with this, Doug Carter is our guest, former state police superintendent. We're talking about the Tom Kleinhelter investigation. Du Bois County Sheriff, who was accused of improprieties related to spending commissary money on trips that involved his wife. No charges were ultimately filed. One of the things that I think has a lot of people concerned is they basically let, when they decided not to file the charges, this Kleinhelter dude write his own press release on why no charges were being filed. Isn't there normally some big expose from the prosecutor, especially on a high-profile case, on why you're not issuing charges?
Completely unprecedented. And the meeting that was held to come to that conclusion included the initial detective that was assigned to this case for only a matter of 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay, that's important real quick because I want to reset this for people. Yeah. You had initially put somebody on the case. It became pretty clear to you, I don't think this person's doing a very good job. I'm not getting info that I want. So you sent Jeff Heron, who did the Jamie Knoll investigation, to Sean Reed investigation. You said, I'm going to send my best guy down there, right?
Correct.
And Heron was not involved in this meeting, even though he was the guy leading the investigation at the time.
No, and this was after it was already completed. The probable cause affidavit was already completed, 10 search warrants, multiple facets of technology. So Jeff was not even invited to that meeting to discuss this.
But the original guy who wasn't even involved in the case now was there at the meeting.
That's correct. I don't understand that.
Okay, very good. Thanks. He answered the question. Casey, go ahead.
Well, I'm curious, after the probable cause affidavit was tabled and Heron was put on a 2-day suspension and also the reassignment, do you feel that was retaliatory?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. Yeah, I mean, the facts are the facts here, and some of this has gotten a bit convoluted over time, and that's natural because there's so many people involved in it now. But there was a release from the governor's office, from Governor Braun's office, apparently by Josh Kelly, indicating that I was a liar.
Oh,
and
hey, we're in a team together, Mr. Superintendent, of guys Josh Kelly doesn't like. Congratulations, we'll have lunch together.
That I resort to lies in a desperate attempt to smear brave women and women in blue. That's preposterous, and he knows better.
Yeah, I thought that was really bad look for Josh Kelly. But
yeah, well, I don't have. And again, my dog in the fight here is the truth, and what happened on my watch. And this is not about 99.9% of the members of the Indiana State Police. I love them.
Yeah, this is about your guy.
And I tried to communicate with the current superintendent about the detail associated with this case, and it was so important that he knew it, along with a multitude of other cases. But he didn't want to talk to me about this. Well, and now I'm thinking, Rob, I don't mean to interrupt, but now I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, now I understand, because he might have had a notion of how this was going to end. And if he talked to me about it and he heard all the detail that he would have had no idea about, it might have changed the outcome.
You kind of tiptoed up to this. I'm curious, what sort of precedent now does this set for ISP detectives who are working high-profile or politically sensitive cases going forward?
They need to be aware of this. They certainly need to be aware of this. And I think the people have learned about this internal and what Heron was charged with, and understand that it's superficial at best, make-believe probably. And they need to be very, very careful here. They'll do the right thing. Those state police detectives will do the right thing every single time. And I just hope they don't receive the same level of interference.
Well, that's a great question, Casey. And there's the other aspect of this, too, which is we read about these stories about government corruption or alleged government corruption all the time, and it seems like very rarely something happens. And in this case, when you read that 80-page probable cause affidavit, you guys went above and beyond, it seems like, or Heron did, went above and beyond to lay all this out for the public.
Yes.
And then even when we can get somebody to investigate it and put together what seems to be a pretty strong case, nothing happens.
They say that the investigation was complete after the initial detective looked at it. Well, my question to that would be, okay, so you're telling me the 84-page probable cause affidavit is not accurate or truthful?
Yeah.
Well, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely a ridiculous statement. And Rob Casey, I've got nothing to gain in any of this.
Other than headache.
Well, and it's a headache I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to walk away from it. And I think that this tit-a-tat back and forth is just complete nonsense.
Go ahead, Casey.
You said you're not going to walk away from it. Okay, so you came out on our show, and now other news agencies are picking up the story and giving you a broader distribution. What do you want to come of this?
I want them to tell the truth. That's all I want them to do, is just simply tell the truth.
Reopen the case?
Oh, I think it should be reviewed again. Absolutely, I do. Now, can it be? I'm not sure.
Well, let's talk about that, because that was my question to you is it final once she says no charges, but you have concerns about how the whole thing was even put together with her?
Well,
her being Holly Huddleston.
It appears that she never acknowledged or acknowledged receipt of the judicial assignment to be the special prosecutor. Nor did she complete a document after her decision was made outlining why she came to that conclusion. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm summarizing kind of what I think the statute says. But the statute is very clear that she shall do both of those things. So, again, I don't know what that means to the legal process, to due process. And we'll just see how it goes over time.
Because that was my question to you isn't there a point where, like, is the case even technically, could it still be open? You can change minds, obviously. Like, if you thought, and I'm not saying this is comparative to this, but I'm just saying, like, if you thought somebody had robbed a bank, but you didn't have enough to charge him, you said, okay, well, there's no charges. And then somebody produces a crystal clear video 4 years later, you can go back and charge him. Then, like, has she closed this out? Has she relinquished this? Is it still open? Could you change her mind? Like, what even would happen now?
Well, I think judicial review is important, and whether she accepted this or not, it would seem to me there's a likelihood that it could be reviewed either by another state's prosecutor or by the federal government, by the FBI. But I'm not sure. It's out of my purview now. It's not my responsibility.
Is it your ability to release Heron's affidavit?
Is it my ability to?
Yeah, can you do that?
I have the initial affidavit from before Holly asked Jeff to go back and prove intent, which he did, and she agreed.
But so wait a minute, I think that's important. She being Holly Huddleston, the special prosecutor, asked Jeff Heron, the state police officer, a specific thing, and then you're saying after he did that, she agreed that he had done the thing she asked for.
She did.
And this is why I think people, like, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. I said, in government, one red flag, or anything in your life, right? One red flag, you go, okay, maybe we can explain that away. Two red flags, you're really paying attention. And by the time you get to red flag 3, 4, 5, 6, you got to think something is not right here. And it seems like with this case that we're on, like, red flag number 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, and Rob, this isn't make-believe. You know, if somebody would have said the things about me that I've said personally, I would have called you and said, whoa, Rob, there's a whole nother side to this story. You need to talk to me. The only thing I've gotten is personal attacks. So they've not wanted to have any conversation with me about why I feel the way I do. If this would have happened after I left, I would not have dog in this fight. But I've got a real dog in this fight. One, because of what happened in Du Bois County, but two, how a member of the ISP is being treated.
Yeah.
So it's been really complicated.
What are the broader implications of this case for law enforcement in Indiana?
Well, as everyone knows, we've had a pretty tough time over the course of the last 5 years with law enforcement, and the governor of this state knows that. And every single time we have even the perception of impropriety, and quite frankly, the first time I ever heard that word was from Governor Pence. And I lived by that. I lived by that standard. even the perception of impropriety. So every time there's a perception of impropriety, some of them we can't control. But when we do things when we intentionally do things that cause that, it does damage to our profession. There's no question about that. So I'm concerned about that.
You know, everybody will hear this. What are the things you want to see that you say the public will feel better about this if these things are done?
That's a good question, Rob, and I guess I haven't put a whole lot of thought into that.
Well, no better time than now, Doug. There's only tens of thousands of people hearing what you're going to say.
No pressure. No pressure, right? No pressure. I've always been the kind of guy that I would rather deal with the problem direct with the people involved. My phone number is the exact same as it was prior to January the 13th, 2025. And if anybody would like to talk about it, I'd be more than willing to talk with them about it.
So if the governor's got questions...
The governor's not going to call a guy like me, I'm sure.
Oh, a guy like me, you fell off a turnip truck. You're the former state police superintendent.
Well, after January 13th, I'm just a guy in a turnip truck, and that's okay. That's okay. But I really think there's learning opportunities here, and I would talk to anybody about this. I got nothing to hide. I've got nothing to hide. And it's just been a very difficult period of time. I don't like talking about this.
Yeah, I was really pissed off about that statement from the governor's office, and because of that, you know how we get Case,
we try and let it go,
and now we're not going to let this go because that was completely ridiculous. And so as long as
one thing I'd like to know, Rob,
yes,
did anybody from Governor-elect Braun's staff have any contact with the now ISP leadership about this case? That question's not been asked because I never have accused the governor of calling direct. I never accused Josh Kelly of calling direct. But did they ever have conversations? Josh apparently has a significant amount of emails that go back and forth about this matter. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
But come on, expose them. And if
do a FOIA request.
Well, but they're probably before they were in the government.
Well,
so I don't know if they're...
the other thing that they could do is talk about the PC on this case. I mean, the facts don't lie.
Yeah, that's the thing. They need to come out, state police needs to come out, and they need to publicly say, not in some administrative email or whatever, they need to say, along with this prosecutor, this is where Jeff Heron screwed up. These are the things that he put in there that are not accurate. Mm-hmm. These are the things that we didn't feel rose to the level of criminal behavior. See how they compare to the emails as you're talking about throughout the course of the process, and then say, this is why not only were the charges not filed, but why this distinguished officer was demoted. That is you're absolutely 100% right. They do those things, and if it's all on board, everybody goes home.
And they need to know what occurred during that meeting with Holly Huddleston. What was that conversation like? It's not been documented anywhere that I'm aware of. So what actually occurred there? And I was a superintendent for 12 years. So when we had something bad happen, I was the face of it to protect the truth, essentially. I don't know why the current guy won't do that. I don't know why he won't address this directly.
All right, well, you know why, but we'll keep it going.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
You're too good for that. You've interviewed too many people. You know what's up. All right, Doug Carter, I'm sure we'll have you back on soon. I don't think the story's going to go away. Thank you.
Hey, it's good to be with you. I'll have a good weekend. Thank you.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
From red carpets to red states, actor Nick Searcy has seen it all. He starred in the FX TV show Justified and movies like The Fugitive and Castaway. But what he saw in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. changed everything. He'll join Tony Katz for one night of unfiltered stories, sharp insight, and a little bourbon on the side. From Hollywood to the heartland. Saturday, August 23rd at West Fork Whiskey Company. Brought to you by Premier Arms and Boer Remodeling. Tickets on sale now at WIPC.com.
Join the Home and Garden Show live this Saturday at Nature Spire, Carmel's only plant boutique. Plants, moss art, and more. Register to win the Classic Pumpkin Package giveaway. 421 South Rangeline.
Call today or go to bwindow.com and receive up to 50% off plus a free patio door.
Because at B-Window, we mean business.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today? Today.
Why is everybody changing their logos now?
It's the thing to do right now.
But why?
I
don't get it.
Freshen up.
I mean, we did the Cracker Barrel story yesterday, which that logo is ugly as sin.
The new one or the old one?
The new one.
The new one.
The old
She's
one was
very
fine.
plain.
Like, why? Look, again, I'm Mr. Nostalgia, right? So I get that I'm way, I still live next to the house I grew up in. And, I get I've got serious issues. I understand, right? But I'm not normal. But if something works, why would you mess with it?
I've changed a logo before.
Did you change the Cracker Barrel logo?
No, not the Cracker Barrel logo.
Did you change the Notre Dame logo?
No.
Okay, what logo did you change?
It was a radio station logo.
How long had it been the logo?
For 30 plus years.
Okay, that's a pretty big deal.
And then it was around the year 2000.
Did you do it for fun? You just sat down?
We kept the same font. We just kind of tweaked it a little. But the intent of that refresh was because we were targeting a younger demo, and it looked really 80s and outdated and not something they could
Wait.
gravitate.
Does anybody listen to a radio station because of a logo? Is that a thing?
No. I mean, I would think so, but...
Like if WIBC just suddenly did cursive letters, right, or whatever. I don't even know. But, would people just stop, I don't like the new logo, so I'm not going to listen to Rob and Casey anymore?
No, I don't think so.
I don't understand this. Think about how much money these people are spending on this. I always love when the towns and the cities do their new logos, and they're always ugly as sin.
Well, that's the taxpayer paying for that.
Right.
Because all of the papers and everything's got to get changed.
Who cares what the logo is? I remember having this conversation when I was an elected person, and the town decided they want to change the logo because, I was like, Brownsburg's purple. Everything Brownsburg's purple. And they're like, well, we're going to be different. I was like, why? Why are we spending money on this? What are we doing? It's a town. You know where you're at? You're in the town. That's where you are. The town's colors are purple and white.
So Notre Dame has now revamped their iconic leprechaun logo, first time in 60 years.
Why?
New design features the leprechaun holding a football.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know or aren't aware or don't remember, it is the iconic Notre Dame logo is the leprechaun with his fists up ready to fight, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It has been awesome since the moment whoever it was doodled that thing on a piece of paper somewhere
60 years ago.
And throughout all the history of in-home television. So 60 years ago would go back to 1965 if public school math has taught me anything.
Yeah.
So basically, through the expansion of the television era, the invention and expansion of the internet, social media, logoing, things on sweatshirts and hats and everything else. This has been the damn logo, and it's great. You see it on TV. Notre Dame's there, and the Fighting Irish. That's their name.
Right? Okay, so the original Leprechaun logo, it debuted in the 60s, appeared on the cover of Time magazine, 1964. And this is the first redesign that they've done in 6 decades. Now, this is all part of a larger rebranding initiative. And each varsity sport is now going to have some sort of individualized mark with the logo.
But again, why? Some kids okay, it's down to Tennessee or Notre Dame.
Merchandise, Rob.
But
merch.
But wait. Okay, so the theory is that's okay again. So we're removing the fact that no kid is not. There's not a single person who didn't come to Notre Dame because they're like, that logo, that leprechaun has his fists up. Okay, so we're taking that up. You're telling me that you think they're gonna they think they're going to sell more merch if some guy's holding a football versus having his
Well,
fist
because
up?
they're going to do it for all the different sports. And my guess is that there will be a leprechaun with a soccer ball, one with a volleyball, one fencing, one doing lacrosse.
Everything's about money, isn't it?
So that, okay, you've got your Notre Dame merch, but you're going to a soccer game. You better have the leprechaun with the soccer ball.
Everyone should boycott this. That's how you'll stop it. Just refuse to participate. Some things have to stay the same, Casey. I may be losing the farmland to data centers, and everything may be changing in my life, but I am not losing the Notre Dame logo.
Leprechaun. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Whether you're dropping them off for the first day of school or they're driving themselves for the first time, we know you have enough on your mind. That's why Hubler's got you and your family covered for 100,000 miles. And we want you to spend less on back to school. That's why you can shop over 2,000 vehicles and buy with zero down. Zero down delivers. Plus, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. Bring us your old car for an immediate appraisal. Head back to school in a Hubler Q-certified vehicle with a free Carfax history report and a 128-point vehicle inspection. Hubler's got you covered. For 100,000 miles, visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 convenient locations. Zero down delivers at Hubler. 'Cause Hubler's got you covered.
Select models approved credit. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Cover me!
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
He's calling for there to be a special session. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith on whether Governor Mike Braun should call for a special session to discuss redrawing the state's congressional map.
100%. Absolutely. I called for it 2 weeks ago. I was one of the first ones in the state of Indiana. I think I was the first leader in the state of Indiana to call for it.
He was guest on the Hammer and Nigel show Thursday. He also again said he's seen no evidence of a deepfake AI video involving the wife of a state rep existing. The National Transportation Safety Board out with their preliminary report on the small plane crash that killed pilot Onto Wynn in Greenwood last month. A South Carolina man is facing multiple felony charges for allegedly stealing nearly $1 million from his grandmother in Madison, Indiana. The Fever hosts the Lynx tonight at 7:30. The Colts are in Cincinnati to battle the Bengals Saturday. And tonight starts the first week of Indiana high school football. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, guys, it's Rob for Life Church. You know, we love Life Church. We go to the Eagle Creek campus, and September is going to be a big month for Life Church. First of all, you've got the big breakfast at the Lucas Estate, September the 18th, which is going to benefit Project Rescue. Life Church partners with Project Rescue. You know, we love Project Rescue to help stamp out human sex trafficking across the globe. If you'd like to learn more about that, head over to my Twitter page, at Rob M. Kendall. I've got the brochure right there at the top. Also in September, a 9-week class that starts, it's Monday nights, starting September 15th. It's called the Alpha Course, and it's designed to answer all of your questions about the Bible. No question off limits, and they've also got free childcare, no cost for the course. 9-week class Monday night starting September 15th. Learn more about everything, whether it's the breakfast for Project Rescue or the Alpha Course or a whole bunch more at lifechurchin.com.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year, or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extra help. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Discussing end-of-life matters can be uncomfortable, but it's also necessary to ensure that loved ones' wishes are well known ahead of time. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. Up next, I'll share suggestions to help ease anxiety surrounding the talk.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Direct, open, and honest conversation is the best way to discuss end-of-life wishes. Knowing your loved one's preferred treatments and desired arrangements will ready everyone for when the time comes. Also helpful, creating a will or trust to ensure assets are distributed accordingly. And consider an end-of-life doula to assist your family during the process. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Join the Home and Garden Show live this Saturday at Nature Spire, Carmel's only plant boutique. Plants, moss art, and more. Register to win the Classic Pumpkin Package giveaway. 421 South Rangeline.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Oh, it's time for an audience favorite. And, well, we're heading into the weekend, so we wanted to give the people what they want. It's the segment where we crap all over Diego Morales.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
You know, it's heavily requested. It's like, going to the Rolling Stones concert. You'd be mad if you left and didn't get satisfaction. So basically, us taking a dump on Diego every day is our version of satisfaction for the audience, and that's what he deserves. And by the way, he's horrible at cropping photos. Have you seen this new photo?
Yes.
Okay, so he posted this. And for those of you who don't know, Diego Morales is the Secretary of State here in Indiana. He is we have dubbed him Grifter or Us. And for a variety of reasons, I want to make sure we have time to get to all the things I want to get to this segment. So most of you are aware of all the litany of issues with Diego. One of them is he always seems to be getting photographed with foreigners, and sometimes it's even in foreign countries.
Yes.
However, Diego is very short. I'm 5'8", and I tower over him. Remember that photo of us together when we were discussing one of the litany of issues related to Diego? There's very few people on this earth that I tower over. He's got to be 5'3". At best, he's got to be 5'3", right? And he clearly has a complex about it, which I don't know why. It's like, I'm short, you just know it. You laugh at it, whatever. He's got some complex about it because people started noticing in these photos, he was standing on his tippy toes.
Yes, he is.
All these photos, he's with people, he's standing on his tippy toes. Dude, you tiny. Okay? Everybody knows it. You're not all of a sudden going to become Shaq.
That's how he got the nickname.
Tiptoe Diego. Right. So now apparently he's photographed with some, who are these people? They're Japanese, Japan, honored to be a part of the Japan America Society of Indiana. Like, that is a giant red flag. But
they had a gala.
Yeah,
there's somebody chugging a beer in the background of the picture, too.
I love that. Somebody pointed that out to me. They're like, have you noticed the guy drowning a cold one down in a cold one in the background? And I've retweeted it at Rob Kendall if you want to see it. And it's these two Japanese guys. The one guy looks like he's trying to hold in the laughter of whatever bullcrap Diego has just spewed upon him. And the other guy has one of the challenge coins.
He does. He's holding it up in the picture. They just all look completely uncomfortable.
Well, wouldn't you be? If you have to spend 7 seconds around Diego Morales, you would be uncomfortable too, because he is uncomfortable. But what I love about this photo is they have gone to effort, clearly, to crop out his feet, like the Armenian mob got him or something, right?
So?
Like you can clear, but you can see somebody. I love our audience. Multiple people from our audience zoomed in, and even
That's
though
what I'm doing right now.
they have cropped his feet, you can see he's on his tiptoes.
He is bouncing just a little
You
bit.
can see it. Somebody pointed out to me like they drew an arrow. It was like the Zapruder film, right? Like they drew an arrow and they said, you can see space under his heels.
Right. Looks like he's wearing like a soft-soled shoe, almost like a Cole Haan or some sort of comfortable dress shoe.
Diego, your staff stinks at photocropping. And stop. Just stop standing on your tiptoes.
Stop passing out coins.
Everyone knows you're a tiny human, both in stature and in your humanity. Very tiny in many aspects. You're not going to hide it from anybody, from one short guy to another. Just as Paul McCartney said, let it be. Let it be.
So he was at the Japan America Society of Indiana Gala. What do you think happened there? It was like, was there a disc jockey? Which he's got a good friend who's a disc jockey now, because he gave that person a coin recently. Like, were they spinning some tunes? Jammed to some music? What goes on there at that gala?
Everything with this guy is just ridiculous, to the point now where he didn't stop standing on his tippy toes, which would be the normal thing to do. He's just now cutting his feet off, again, as though some Armenian mobster got him. And that's the new, I guess, Diego photo MO. Look, Diego, we're not stopping. Just stop pulling the bull crap. Just take a photo of you standing like a normal human. It'll be fine. Everything will be great.
It's okay.
Okay, so speaking of Diego, I did want to touch on this because Indy Star had a big story about this, that Bo Bai, who is one of two sons of Evan Bai, the former governor and senator from the state of Indiana, it appears to be ready to take the plunge into some sort of political endeavor. Don't know exactly what it is. The big rumor is that he is going to run for Secretary of State, but he is now hitting the podcast and speaker circuit at Democrat functions. And we'll disclose this. I don't think he will care. I had a lovely little back and forth with him the other day. I think he's going to come on this show in the near future. I'd never actually met him in person before, and so we just messaged each other back and forth. It was he said he's a big listener of the show, actually, which was pleasant to hear, and he said he'd be happy to get together, and we'll hopefully have him on in the near future.
Okay.
Look, I've said this for a while, and I mean this with every fiber of my being. The best thing that would happen to this state is for if you are upset at how you have been governed by the Republicans and totally taken for granted and dismissed as a conservative, the best thing to happen in this state would be for Bo Bai to run for Secretary of State and for him to depants Diego Morales, which I believe he would probably be able to do, and for there to be a Democrat in a statewide office that the Republicans, a high-profile office too, that the Republicans would be forced to engage with. Because Bo Bai winning, like, I'm not saying like I'm a super fan and there's a bunch of things we don't agree on, but we have to at some point send a message to these Republicans that you have to stop taking us for granted. Why do they govern the way they do? Why do they govern around high taxes and bigger government and legalized vote buying and donors and lobbyists?
Because they can.
Because they can.
Yeah.
Because they believe you will roll over and play dead and do whatever they tell you to do at the end of the day. That you're so afraid of a Democrat that you will do whatever they say. And this would be the perfect way to send a message to these people would be for Evan Bai's son to get elected to an office that not only oversees elections, but also businesses. And just for purely selfish reasons, I want him to run. You don't think the buy machine will figure out who paid for Diego to go to India? You don't think the buy machine and all the money that's going to roll into that? Look, if Bo Bai's son decides he's going to run for Secretary of State, there will be a gajillion dollars that will flood in to help him, because by Democrat standards in this state, he's going to be an A-plus candidate, and he's going to run against a complete grifter, unethical zero.
Okay, it's Evan by son. I just wanted to correct you on that.
What'd I say?
You said Bo by son.
Yeah,
It's actually
Bo by
is the son.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
So he was speaking.
By the way, I wanted to tell everybody, Casey has been given strict orders. If Rob says something
inaccurate,
wrong, point it out.
While it's happening.
This is not some woman hear me roar thing from Casey. She's been given strict
Keeping
orders.
us out of trouble. That's what I do.
Yeah. Evan
Try
Evan
anyway.
Bison. That's correct.
Okay, so he was speaking at this Democratic dinner in French Lick. He was talking about topics like rebuilding the middle class and also restoring trust in politics. He said we need more unity, less division, more public interest, less special interest. However, he was not specific on what he was going to run for. It was like he was putting his big toe in the pond, right? Keep in mind that Evan Bayh, his father, former Senate campaign, holds $2 million. So if he is officially entering the ring, he's doing it with a little bit of bankroll already. Now, a lot of people are saying...
Real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think you hit on a very interesting point, which is Diego brags about all this money he's been able to raise, and we've raised a whole bunch of red flags about some of that money and why everybody should be concerned about it. But you're right. The Bayh family are the one group that can go, oh, that's cute. How about you take a look at this?
Yeah. No, he was not specific on what office he was looking at. And you had mentioned, a lot of people are thinking it's Secretary of State. We know the Secretary of State oversees elections. I'm wondering how people in Indiana will receive that based on 2020 election.
Well, look,
to have a Democrat overseeing elections. Like, I'm really curious if he's really not eyeing something else.
Well, okay, so couple things, and obviously I just let it go over here, right, Case? So, a couple things. One, and I said this with David Shelton the other day, who was challenging Diego at the convention on the Republican side. I would vote for an aged potato skin over Diego Morales, as in if the ballot read Morales v. potato skin, I would vote for the aged potato skin. So if Shelton can't get it done at the convention, I'm going to be all in on this dude. Plus, if he gets in there, think about he gets the keys and he can open up all the bull crap that Diego's pulled. That in and of itself would make me vote for the guy, just for some Democrat to get the keys to see exactly what's going on in that office and all the emails and all the other stuff and all that, the things that go with it. But also somebody to fight with the Republicans. Somebody, when the Republicans are stepping out of line, which we all know they do all the time on a variety of issues, somebody, an opposition voice in a position of prominence to be able to raise their hand and say, here's what's going on, society. Look, they'll control him, the Republicans, because, I don't know if you know this, Casey, certainly not with our current Secretary of State. The Secretary of State is an administrative position. It doesn't have any actual legislative power. It enforces the will of the General Assembly. So they will be able to, they being the General Assembly, will be able to pass whatever they want to pass. He can't stop it. But boy, it sure would be fun to watch somebody finally stand up to these dudes. And so if Shelton can't get it done at convention and it's Bayh v. Morales, count me all in on Bayh, because, I'm a sucker for nostalgia too, Casey. I'd like to go back to the Evan Bayh. By the way,
speaking of nostalgia, do you think that there's any possibility, instead of looking at Secretary of State, he's going to try and reclaim his father's Senate seat?
Yeah, I think Diego, because he's such a grifter and he's so corrupt.
That's easy pickings.
And he's so unethical. If you were going to make and it's an off-year election, and if you got people pissed off about the gerrymandering and everything else, you get in a presidential year election, which the governor is, that's going to be a heavy lift. If you were going to strike, there's no better guy for a Bayh to strike against than Diego Morales. Plus, wouldn't it be fun to see how many votes we could cost Diego? Wouldn't that be a fun little game we could play next year, Casey?
He's described as a magnetic speaker who captivates the room. He is younger, 29, so there's a lot of potential there, and obviously he's got plenty of name recognition.
And look, people are like, oh, Rob, look, I'm not naive to what's going on here. I want the Republicans to be challenged. I want Diego held accountable. I want the truth on stuff to come out. Like, I'm not naive to think, oh, Bo Bayh, he's going to be so awesome and he's going to be just wonderful. And I'm not naive to that. But what I do want is the crap to stop. And clearly, the way they have gerrymandered these House and Senate districts, they're going to do it again with the congressional districts. It's going to be very hard other than these statewide type of offices to start making a dent in this armor. And I think this guy is the best chance possible. No, look, in an ideal world, David Shelton's hyper qualified. I think he's great. He'll just win at convention. We'll be done with Diego. Adios, see, and we'll get it that way. But I'm all in on whatever it takes to get some answers.
Yeah, I think Diego has his eyes on something else as well. Democrats have not won a statewide election since 2012, so it's going to be a heavy lift.
Challenge accepted,
Is
Casey.
this the guy that can reinvigorate the party?
We got to go to break.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. Man, we're going to have a good time. It's Friday. Football games are tonight. It's Beer Sample Friday. Let's kickstart the weekend right. We'll talk at 3:06.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
No one will love your HVAC system as much as we do. Call Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing for an honest assessment on your current AC system or get a great deal on a new one. Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good.
Pat Sullivan here with an offer from my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling that you don't want to miss. For a limited time, Hope Plumbing will buy back your old air conditioning unit for up to $1,500 with the purchase of a complete heating and cooling system. It's time to call them if you're hot. Don't wait for the next heat wave to be caught sweating at home. Act now before the offer ends. Stay cool and call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. And using your FSA or HSA funds, you could save up to 30% off. To find out if you're a viable candidate, request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-348-2596. Instead of masking the symptoms, it resolves the problem at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Find out if you're a viable candidate today. Request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics, 463-348-2596, 463-348-2596.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Everyone knows that PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is the place to get one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces. Diamonds, gold, gemstones, watches, everything. But PA Jewelers at the farmhouse is also the place to sell your jewelry, your watches, your coins, or bullion. PA Jewelers has the best prices and the best payouts. And they walk you through the process so you know what your pieces are worth and what you're getting. PA Jewelers at the farmhouse, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg, or online at pajewelers.jewelry. That's pajewelers.jewelry.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You know the face, now hear the stories. Actor Nick Searcy from Justified and Castaway joins Tony Katz for one night only, August 23rd, to talk about how Hollywood and Washington, D.C. led him to the heartland. Tickets at WIBC.com. Presented in part by Boer Remodeling.
Okay, I have an offer. to some people if you're ready for this, Casey.
Yeah.
I think this is a great way for everybody to come and heal together. Are you ready?
Heal.
Yes. It's Kendall Casey show. Rob, that's Casey. So, so I was told by the governor when he over at the state party headquarters when he informed me that he was going to screw millions of people and sign off on that property tax bill. One of the things I told him is I said, you are going to unleash a flood of school referendums across the state, and a bunch of people aren't going to wait for your little bull crap. It's got to be an even year so everybody will show up to vote thing. They're going to flush it through this year. And he's like, oh, that's not going to happen. I said, okay, cool. And Micah and Sherry, his chief of staff, were sitting there, and Josh Kelly. I said, cool. So you're going to sign up and knock on doors in these places when they happen. Oh, yeah. I said, are y'all hearing this? And then Micah, when he was still coming on our show, said he would knock on doors, right? Unless I just imagine that. So the Avon school people have reached out to me, or the Avon town members, because they are one of these dastardly little school corporations that is sprinting to a referendum this fall, and they have asked me to help them because, I am the referendum killer, Casey.
Yes.
Nobody kills referendums like me.
You've got the experience.
So here is what I have said, because I've beaten not one but two. How many people can say they beat them in two separate communities? Here's what I have said. Since the gov and the lieutenant gov have both told me that they were willing to personally knock on doors to defeat school referendums, I am offering to bring us all together in a perfect storm of anti-referendum, pro-taxpayer harmony. They can pick the day.
Yeah.
It could be a Monday. It could be a Saturday. It could be a Friday. You pick the day, Gov and Lieutenant Gov. Whatever day you want to join me in Avon, and we'll go out and we'll knock on those doors together. I'll even show them how to do it. I'll even, with all my expertise,
show them how to knock on the doors.
If they're really serious, can you imagine what a triangle of terror defeating a referendum that would be? The governor, the lieutenant governor, Rob Kendall from WIBC, using Avon and their egregious, sneaky behavior as an example, knocking on doors in the community, putting out flyers. Offer extended.
Yes. Okay. How long do we have before?
Well, I mean, you got the election that's coming up this fall, so we got to move
November.
pretty quick, right? People are going to start making up their minds. Early voting starts in October. So we basically got the month of September to help these great people out in Avon. And I, Rob Kendall, as we head into the weekend, a beautiful...
You'll join forces for good?
Absolutely anything to defeat school referendums. Mr. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, you made the offer. The ball, I have accepted. The ball is now in your court.
Okay. Hey, you got called into the boss's office.
Yeah, if this is it for us.
It's not Thursday, though, so I think you're okay.
If this is it for us, it's been fun working with you.
Yeah. Good luck with that meeting. And that's going to do it for us today. Maybe forever. You never know. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening. It has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call Trajan today at 317-480-4040. That's 317-480-4040.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states, as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.